might have to lower it a bit, ne? Are you picking it up, Latas?
I don't know if we're picking it up enough for it to matter. Because are we live? We live.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry.
We really live?
I will really, because I'm...
Ballers. Welcome to Onside ZA, brought to you by Betway. Get away more. Sorry, we're just sitting here chatting because we're at coffee in Midrand watching Bafana against Nigeria's Super Eagles. Looking at the starting lineups here, Super Sub, first of all, welcome.
Danko. Good
Second
to be here.
of all, the nerves.
Yes,
The
bro.
nerves
Like,
are here.
I am so nervous. Like, you don't believe. Like, I am shaking right now. Eh?
Yeah, it's
You know,
unbelievable.
It is not just another fixture. We're playing Nigeria, you know.
It's definitely a change in formation.
Oh, yeah, and Tulu is back in, obviously, to give us more
Surety, eh?
yeah, surety there in the front four, you know.
So I don't think that either of these starting formations are actually correct in what we're going to see when the teams line up. I think we're going to see Kulu, Kekana and Mvala next to each other in a back three.
Yeah.
Mudau as the right wing back. Maseko and Sitole in front of them in their traditional midfield roles.
Yeah.
And then I think we're going to see Temba Zwane on the right-hand side, Percy Tau on the left-hand side of
yeah.
attack, and Mahopa down the middle. And Zwane and Tau are still going to be given a lot of a job for filling up the midfield.
Yeah.
So when the ball is on the right-hand side of the pitch, Zwane will be required to do a defensive job, and Percy Tau will be required to fill up the midfield.
Definitely.
And then when the ball is on the left-hand side of the pitch, Tau is going to have to fall back and do a
Vice
defensive
versa.
job,
Yeah.
and Zwane is going to have to help fill the midfield. Instead of Kulu, the expectation of Kulu going up into midfield and making up that difference.
Yeah. When I'm looking at the way it was set up on the graphics, it looks like Tulu will be more behind Sitole and Zwane as well, you know.
And Mokwena.
And I think he's going to play that role of helping out when Mudau goes forward. Tulu will be the guy to sort of cover him on the right, and vice versa with Mudiba. When he goes forward, Tulu will be the guy that tracks to the side. Oh, you are here.
Welcome back to Onside ZA for MacG.
What do you mean?
Wrong jersey
Welcome.
though, eh?
Eh?
Wrong jersey, eh?
No.
I knew you were going to start with the jersey.
You know what? Every time Len Moleko's in a Kaiser Chiefs jersey, it's a good omen.
Is it?
It's
Oh,
been a
is it?
good omen for Bafana.
Yeah, no, we must be honest. He has redeemed himself this year.
Hey, from
No,
last
my
year.
Bafana shirt, jersey got dirty when I was on my way here.
Oh, damn.
is
So
it?
I had to change it quickly.
Are you wearing yellow? It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
we
you.
were just discussing how nervous we are.
I'm also nervous, bro. I
I
think I'm more nervous than Morocco, eh?
you reckon, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
because
what? There's
Morocco,
more riding on this in a way. If we went out round of 16 to Morocco, we'd have been like, okay.
it's Morocco.
You know?
Yeah, because it's so
but,
close.
but now it would be like, we were so close. Do you know what I'm saying?
And as well, the thing is with this one, it's not only a football rivalry. This rivalry goes beyond football, you know. Mac is a DJ. He knows it goes to music as well. This rivalry goes to economics as well. Like, it's a whole lot, you know. We
Does the winner keep Amapiano?
Yeah, definitely.
you can't sell the Amapiano that cheap, man.
Hey, but I haven't been excited about a game in a very long time. I can't remember the last time I was excited for a Bafana game, bro.
No, definitely.
Like
same
this.
here. They've had a good run, and we were talking about it yesterday on the show that South Africans have fallen in love with Bafana again. You know,
Yeah.
they've sort of like
Give me 1 second.
given that hope that, you know what, if we are supported, we can go far. You know.
And you guys didn't believe me. Remember first match?
Yeah.
I told you, even Argentina started badly, guys.
Yeah,
Relax.
you did say in the group,
said-
actually, I remember that Argentina started like this.
Yes,
You know, Spain as well, if
Yeah.
you can remember.
Yeah.
You know, but I think Bafana has done well so far. I mean, for the first time in 24 years, they've reached the semi-finals, you know.
It's crazy. I think there's something that happens when you lose the first game. It's like, it kicks in, okay, cool. Hey,
We are here.
We are
And
here
we
now.
left with 2 games
You
now.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I think when you win the first game, you kind of like put your foot off the gas
Mm.
and you're like, we just need a point or one more game.
I agree
and
with
we'll be
you.
fine. But like when you lose the first game, there's something that happens to the mentality, which is quite interesting.
Because if you look at the teams that sort of like never lost a game in the group stages, they're all gone.
Even remember Argentina? I think it was not Argentina, Portugal.
Yeah.
At
When
the
they
Euro.
won
Euros.
in the
In
Euro.
France,
Yeah,
yes.
they started poorly.
They started poorly, yeah.
They didn't win a group.
qualify to the group.
They didn't win any group.
game in the
They
group
didn't win
stages.
any games. They qualified in third place.
In
Yeah,
third
yeah.
place,
As the best
withdraw.
third place finisher or
With
something
three-
like that. With 3 draws. Like Congo, like DRC,
Yeah.
currently in the tournament. Also, you know DRC have won 1 game and they're in the semi-finals of
real?
AFCON. Yeah, they drew their group stage games.
Yeah.
They only went through on penalties in their round of 16 and they won their quarterfinal. So the quarterfinal is the only technical win in their entire run to the semi-finals of AFCON.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
And Cote d'Ivoire is the host, and they came through the back door as well, and then the semi-finals because
No, those guys are fighters, eh? They never give up, eh?
they never gave up. They
And the
never
12th man is working for them.
yeah, definitely.
The 10th man, because they were down to 9 with the red cards. So they had the 10th man was the crowd. Yeah.
Is that water? That's not for me. That's why they didn't bring me one.
You want what? Here you go.
No, I need a chiller's punch, bro.
You need a chiller's punch. Yeah. So I know you're saying you're nervous.
Who've you guys been most impressed by from Bafana fan?
From Bafana, it has to be Mukwena.
That's the number 4 guy, ne?
the number
Yeah.
4, the
Yeah,
midfielder.
he looks good,
He's
man.
really solid. You know, he's those kind of players that you don't see much. You know, they don't like shine a lot, but the craft in the midfield. It reminds me of your Busquets. You know what I mean? Like you don't see them much in the match, but they really craft.
Isn't he a right back?
No. He's a
Mudau
midfielder.
is the right back.
Mudau is
Oh,
the right
Mudau
back.
is the right back.
He's another one that has really done well.
Yeah.
Sorry, man, I don't know local football, but I really like Zwane, the Zwane guy.
Zwane is the general, yeah. He's been clean.
He's our creative midfielder.
He's quality,
He's
bro.
clean.
He looks so comfortable on the ball, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And he's the guy that we're hoping is going to make things happen for us today, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's actually a lot of quality in this Bafana side. But the biggest key element to this Bafana side is the volume of players who play for Sundowns.
Yeah.
So they're playing with each other week in, week out. There's a lot of coherence play amongst the Bafana squad because of that relationship. So now this is the first time we've seen a real change in formation from Hugo Bruce, just to match up with Nigeria. It looks like it's a back 3. And just as everybody's favorite arrives, Tepi Worldwide. Ballers, please welcome Tepi Worldwide.
Welcome, darling.
Hello, darling.
Eating traffic morning.
Bro, let me tell you about my Uber driver.
Yeah.
Ustakile sana petrol. I promise you.
Ushor ku Uber ki Bolt.
No, I don't use Bolt, friend. I use Uber. And the driver did not have petrol. We almost hit another car. Like, I've had like the worst, you guys.
I smell
Anyway,
cap here. I
you were
smell
like,
cap
hello,
here.
darling.
No, I smell
Someone's
cap.
capping.
I took pictures.
Do you know what we do now on Podcast and Chill?
Yeah.
There's fines when you're late now.
I think we need to implement that.
Have I ever been late, my friend?
No, you've been very on time, man.
There's
Thank
fines
you.
now when you're late, Chief.
So it's a real thing, you guys.
And
I
then-
promise you. And I asked him, Gerabatung, why did you pick me up, number one, knowing very well that you are like Kilabwan? And it's like, hi, my sister, I was thinking the garage is right here.
Yeah.
I'm like,
No.
bro, you know?
No, I'll join you guys again. Let me make sure your drinks are ready and your food is ready and stuff.
Guys, are we live?
Thank you.
Cool.
We are already live, my darling.
Oh, hi, guys.
We love. Thank you,
I'm so
MacGyver.
thirsty that
Thank you,
time.
MacGyver. Everyone, ballers, let's cheer for MacGyver.
Woo, MacGyver. Guys, oh, may I say something else,
Of
which
course.
is also nice? That all the Bafana jerseys are sold out everywhere.
Oh, that's beautiful. Lakok will be happy.
Everywhere, like everywhere, friend. I went to go get this one at Mall of Africa earlier today, sold out. I went to Fourways Mall, sold out.
My goodness.
Hey. So
I'm
there's a
thirsty.
Lecoq Sportif store somewhere, right? That
Isn't
would be
it by Woodmead?
Sure, I don't know.
Yeah.
They've got their own store, hey?
Yeah.
should,
I think
yeah.
it's Santon. Anyway,
Is
Look,
it?
obviously, I mean, these have reignited the Bafana,
Yeah,
you know, that we all fell in love with. You know, this one that I'm wearing here. You know how many
Wait,
people
guys,
want
if
this
we're
jersey?
shooting, how come you're on screen?
Darling, I'm not on screen.
No, guys, you guys play with me.
You're on screen. He's not on screen.
No, it's impossible.
This is your camera over here, darling.
No, but still, he's in my peripheral.
No, you move. If you move, the camera doesn't move with you.
Am
You
I-
darling.
just
am I
want
on
me to
screen?
be on
You're on
screen. Eh?
screen. Ask the
Hey,
ballers.
let us. Am I on screen there? Ah, thank you.
There you go. Hi,
I need some
Tepi.
powder, guys. Like, I've had the longest day today,
You
like,
want
for
some
real.
water?
Yes, please. I'm parched. Is this still sparkling?
It's still.
Super sub. Now they've seen your hand again.
Yeah, look, the most famous hand,
What
eh?
are the, no, please go to YouTube.
So, Tepi, darling,
my
we've seen the
sickness.
first change in formation for Bafana in the tournament. To me, I see a clear 3 at the back versus the forward back that we've been going with.
Yes, who?
With
Kuliso,
Modiba and
Modiba.
Mudau being converted to wing backs.
Yes, and Kekana and...
So Kulu back in to the side, who hasn't
How do you
featured
feel
since the
about
loss
that?
to. There's a concern because of the coherency of all those Sundowns players. They're now being split up by Kulu, who's now not playing week in, week out with Grant Kekana and Mvala. So there's some concern there. But I admire Hugo Bruce's bravery to make a tactical switch.
At this stage, though?
I admire it.
It's a
I admire
tactical
it.
change.
Yeah.
He has to do that because, remember the formation that Nigeria play, it's very compact in the midfield because they wanna control the midfield, they wanna have position. So you're gonna need like a lot of numbers in the middle, and also with our wingers, Mudau and Modiba going forward, you're gonna need cover for them, and I think that's the reason why he's got Tulu in that position.
Okay, I understand. Because
Enda.
we have Osman. Yes, we have Osman. We have Simon and who's the other boy? The top goal scorer from Nigeria right now. Top number
Ademola Lukman from
Ademola
Atalanta.
Oh,
in the
exactly,
Serie
and that
A.
combination right there is going to be.
Didn't he play for Everton once?
Yes, he
Yeah, he
did.
did.
No?
Yes. No, Leicester.
No,
Leicester, friend.
maybe.
Leicester.
Ballers tell us.
Yeah, Bottas must tell us, but I think it is
this
Leicester.
this is what we do now.
Oh.
If we get something wrong, the
Oh,
ballers will
okay,
figure it
go.
out.
Hey, this is the future, man.
Alex
Because they
Iwobi
come
is
for us.
currently at Everton though, and he's
And
been
now
having
they
a
come for
great
us in a
tournament.
while.
Super sub.
Now we've been.
I don't think Super Sub can hear you.
Alex
Scream.
Iwobi, I'm speaking very loud. The ballers are hearing me twice.
Alex Iwobi.
Alex Iwobi, we were talking about Everton players and players coming from Everton.
Yeah.
Alex Iwobi's been terrific.
No, definitely. I mean, he played that defensive role so well, and it's going to be a battle of him and Mukwena today, in that midfield. I am just worried about the formation that Nigeria play, and I'm stressing about this a lot because once you have 4 midfielders, you're going to boss that midfielder, and you're going to create those chances. And, they've got 4 midfielders, and they've got Lukman, and what's the other guy?
Simon.
And Simon.
Yeah.
And in transition as well, they are very quick. And those are the target men in transition.
Yes.
And
I
then
agree.
those two will obviously be feeding to Osimhen. That is my biggest worry in up front from Nigeria.
Hence
when
the
I
back
watch-
3, right? So there's no need to recover in transition
Yeah.
because you've already got 3 at the back to deal with Moses Simon, Lukman, and Osimhen.
Yeah,
At least
I
you
don't-
1-for-1 in the transition already before allowing Modiba and Mudau to come back and recover.
I have not seen the starting 11, gentlemen, because I have just got here. Tell me, is it pretty much the same 11 that they have been playing with, as the exception of the very first match?
It's pretty much the same 11 as last week,
Yes.
as
it's
the
four at
last
the back,
fixture,
yeah.
except for the Kulu coming in for Morena.
Yeah.
Morena.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yes.
Morena, yeah.
And
Morena's
then I'm
been replaced.
And Nigeria?
Nigeria, I've not checked
Can
their
we see the
starting
starting-
11.
Is the
Okay.
same starting
Same
lineup
starting
for
11 as
Nigeria?
last-
Let me see, friend.
Let me read some comments here, guys.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
You help us with
from
that.
Oh, okay.
From the
because
ballers,
Trust,
yeah?
Ekong is their captain and is excellent. I think he's actually the highest rated one here. And Ajayi, Basse is also highly rated, and Aina. Okay. Okay, speak, friend. Yes.
Yeah. So the ballers are saying the guy in the back there is that Super Sub. So
No.
I think if you do a close up on Tepine, there's a guy behind there. So I think people think that's Super Sub, and actually,
Or they might be talking about Latas here behind us.
Latas.
no, but he
Let
doesn't
us
have a
know.
mic. He doesn't have a mic. So Super Sub is talking, and his lips are not moving.
Yeah.
Can't be him.
Don't worry, Super Sub's not there.
No, but here's an interesting story. That
So we
guy
are live,
actually,
friend.
Yeah.
Tepi,
Yes,
that
sir.
guy actually is a big DJ.
Which one?
He's got so many hits. He's done a song with Java. His name is Doc. You must Google him.
Duck, I know Duck. He's
Yeah.
my boy. He follows me. I know Duck.
Yeah, right
Where
here.
is he?
Right
Oh,
here.
here he is. Oh, I know Duck.
He's a massive DJ.
He's an Afro
Afrotech.
Afrotech DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Duck. I know
It's
Duck.
not super sub. It's
Oh yeah,
one of the
he's
biggest
and
DJs.
he's a Limpopian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know Limpopo's we run the country.
Show Cyril. Young Cyril.
And then also ballers are asking, where's Len?
Len is going to join us later in the second half. He's our super sub for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
But
had
watch-alongs are very strenuous.
he
so
had a
Len is
hat
gonna-
emergency.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's going to join us in the second half.
But just to add what you were asking about Alex Iwobi, every time I see him play, whether it's Everton or even during this tournament, he always seems to do like the easy things like wow. Like he keeps
Yeah.
it simple.
Yeah, get the ball, distribute.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's effective at times.
A lot of times. But if we've got a player like Mukwena,
Mukana is also a distributor, friend.
he's a very good distributor,
Yeah.
and Mukwena is a very physical player, you know. And I think Mukwena has got a very good chance to win that midfield battle with Iwobi.
Yes, him, and also another person who will win the ball for you, my friend, is Yaya.
Cheers, guys. The drinks are here. That's the only
Yeah,
reason I
yeah,
came,
yeah.
by the way. Can't say no to free alcohol.
Yaya will win the ball for you, and he's a very dynamic player. And then we also have Mokwena, who is, a good distributor. So it's going. No, but why? You can't chill us punch.
I don't know. Hey, why?
What,
when
what are you looking
punch?
to have, Tepi? Can I get you something to drink? A chiller's
Chiller's
punch.
No, friend. Oh, you're asking me what I want?
Yeah.
Oh, champagne, darling.
Okay.
Marco, there are certain questions you're not supposed to ask. You should
I'm
have-
learning
Tepi
now.
came here so thirsty. You should have just brought anything. She would have drank.
I hope that's the only thing I regret today.
Like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Are we nervous?
I am so nervous. I'm shaking in my shoes right now.
Are you, friend?
I am shaking.
Marco?
Yeah, terribly nervous.
Ne?
Terribly nervous.
And I feel like I'm also nervous because the environment that I'm in is not what I'm used to. I feel like it's always easier to take, the knocks and everything else in the comfort of our studio. But it's also quite nice. The change of scenery is giving.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. And if there are any ballers here joining us, we will take a chance to come say hello
They must come
and
up
give
here,
away some
yeah.
Betway merch, etc. I don't know if they can come up here, but we'll make a plan to come down and say hello at least or something. I don't know. I'm saying I don't know. They might be able to. I don't know.
Friend, looking at the stats,
35 degrees Celsius with 11% humidity and 14 kilometer per hour winds. That 35 degrees Celsius, nothing
hot.
new in this tournament, but
Yeah.
extremely hot. We can expect several cooling breaks throughout the fixture as well.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, would you say that,
Here's your champagne, darling.
can I have a cup? I'm thinking South Africa, we generally have, weather conditions close to like a 28, but I don't think a 35 is something that we are accustomed to. Probably in Nigeria, though, might have acclimatized to this one.
Well, certainly it's closer to home
Yeah.
for Nigeria, so they'll have a larger portion of fans
Yeah.
as well in the stadium. You're definitely going to see Nigeria have a bulk of the fans, and again, they're going to have more of the, let's say, acclimatization to the conditions, like
Yeah.
you said. I see a lot of orange shirts in the stands there.
That too, yeah.
Ooh, super sub.
Yeah, it could it be Ivorians?
I think so.
It's Ivorians. It will be interesting who they're going to be rooting for. It's probably going to be their West African neighbors,
Yeah, definitely.
So the odds are against Bafana in terms of support base,
Friend,
Maybe Ivory
Statistics.
Coast will try to, because they'll think that Bafana's an easier game for the final.
Yeah.
but speaking of odds against us, we have a lot against us. We are obviously playing very far from home, and like you've mentioned right now, the stadium does not show so much support for Bafana. But when it comes from a chairman of a team of the Chile Boys also saying that, hey man, I am actually not supporting, what do we say to that?
I take that with a pinch of salt.
I'll
please.
take that. I agree with Marco. I'll take that with a pinch of. This is Chipampengis. This is in the history of football, this is the first coach, chairman who recruit via LinkedIn.
So,
anything is possible with him.
Can I tell you what's going on? it's PR.
It is.
It's
Nobody's
PR.
talking about cheaper United.
Yeah.
Now he's got a goalkeeper
Yeah.
in the AFCON semi-finals
Yeah.
Yeah.
against Bafana. If he says, good luck Bafana, I'm a Bafana fan,
That's not going to
then
sell.
we're not talking about it here. We're like,
It's
of course
normal.
you're a Bafana fan,
Everybody's
it's
doing
normal.
that, yeah.
But now we're talking about this because he's like, go Nigeria, go Super Eagles. And we're like, That's all it is. Now we're talking about it. He's got his result that he wants.
You
It's
know
done.
what?
He
But you
wanted
know-
to shine the spotlight on his
That's
team.
it.
I
That's
agree.
it.
And
It's a cheap PR gimmick.
it
cheap.
is the cheapest. And you know what people were saying on Twitter?
Yeah.
They were like, we'll be there when you get relegated.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Because
it's
at
crazy.
some point you start to question, like, how far are you willing to take this thing? You know?
Yeah.
It's
And
starting
also,
to sound like an an
Well,
influencer.
and also he's excited about the money that he's going to get. Remember, there's an allocation from CAF that gets to the club when your players reach certain competition, certain stages of the competitions.
Ah.
You know, so he's excited. He's also excited about that. So you can't blame him anyway.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you're welcome to celebrate Nigeria. You're one person. But the
Yeah.
country, and Tepi, you alluded to this earlier,
Does
the
I need my
country is
computer?
behind Bafana
Yeah.
like we haven't seen in over a decade.
Yep.
There are no Bafana shirts available anywhere. Stock
Yep.
is sold out everywhere.
Yep.
Everyone's behind Bafana.
Yep.
And the shirts I'm wearing is on its way to becoming an iconic shirt.
Yep.
Definitely,
Definitely.
definitely.
Super Sub's not on camera, so you can't see that he's wearing an iconic Bafana shirt of his own.
Yeah, no,
definitely.
in the past.
Yeah.
So-
Just to describe it, is that jersey that Neil Tovey was wearing when he left the AFCON.
It's giving McWilliams. It's giving Dr.
1996.
Kumalo.
Yeah, I know.
It's giving Lucas Radebe.
Sizwe Mutaung, the
giving
likes,
Helmet.
Linda Buthelezi, all of those.
Yeah,
no.
definitely.
So speaking of the legends of 1996,
Guys,
Yeah.
I'm coming.
we're talking about a legend in Mark Williams.
Yeah.
There's another Williams in the squad, Ronwin Williams.
Yes.
And we can't sing high enough praises for the lad
Yeah.
after the last performance against Cabo Verde, which we progressed
Yeah.
for that reason alone. Ronwin Williams.
Yeah.
And I mean, just to extend on this, we were talking about his the benefit he gets. Oh, it's here. I'll get it for you. No problem. Okay. So sorry about that, Ballers. Tsepi's asking me technical questions, distracting me. But we were talking about the availability of players like Mokoena and Ronwin Williams, who undoubtedly will have attracted interest from international clubs. I think Themba Zwane would have if his age was more accommodating to it.
Yeah, Mukwena has already, apparently, Al Ahly have inquired about these services as well.
Yeah, so, and then we were talking about the work permits issue. And this run in the tournament has already given these Bafana players a big haul of points to
Definitely.
help in their application for work visas in European countries, including
definitely.
the UK.
The global perception now changes, you know, and the world is going to be looking at South Africa as well, because we must also, I can't stress this enough, that majority of the players are playing their trade locally.
Yep.
So that also gives them what you call a sort of like points, like you say.
Some leverage.
And if you are in the shop window in the AFCON tournament,
Yeah.
you look at Nigeria and it's like none of these players are available. They were already subject of bids, etc. before
Yeah.
the tournament started. So there's no surprises for Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman.
Yeah.
There's no surprises there that clubs are interested in these players.
Definitely.
But now, clubs might not have paid attention to some of the Mamelodi Sundowns players playing for Bafana before because they weren't shopping in the DStv Premier League,
Yeah.
the DStv Premiership rather. And now there will certainly be a lot of attention on these Bafana players.
No, definitely. There's certainly going to be, like Kuliso Mudau, there's already interest from England.
Oh, nice.
You know, I was just saying now, Tsepi, that Themba Zwane, Al Ahly apparently have inquired about these services as well.
But that does not come as a surprise.
Not Themba Zwane,
Thank you.
Mokoena rather.
Okay.
No, we're
No,
okay.
We're good. We're good.
We're our own
Okay.
commentators.
But I
We,
mean-
we like our voices.
Like the sound to our voices. I don't think Mokoena Super Sub comes as a surprise. getting interest from an Al Ahly. I think it's a natural step from Mamelodi Sundowns player to go up there. But I would have enjoyed, and I'm hoping that is going to be the case, where we get interest from other leagues. How we spoke about, we don't want a Belgium league, for example. We want a Spain, we want an Italy, and it's okay to be ambitious as well.
No, definitely. I think we're gonna need that volume for the national anthem. It only makes sense, right?
Looking at the national anthem for Nigeria before the South African national anthem starts, the height of the players as the camera pans across them.
Look at Mudiwa, how short he is.
We'll be
Hey guys,
silent
we
for a
tiny,
moment
yo.
for the South African national anthem.
Are we holding?
Hey, I'm nervous, eh? You can't take emotions out of football, eh?
That's my boy.
South Africa, love and Onside, Eddie Deep Stefan Onside, van die kransen aan Porsche.
Mama Joy.
Sounds the calls to come.
Come together and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa. Our love. Woo woo! Come boys!
Let's go!
Come on, boys. Come on. I got a good feeling, man.
Okay.
Got a good feeling.
No, I got a good feeling about this one, man.
If
Nigeria's just aggressive, man. That's all they have.
Yeah, no
Aggression.
And speed.
they're a well-organized side, they've conceded the least goals in the tournament.
Only
They
one.
have the best defense in the tournament.
Damn.
Bafana have also only conceded in one game
Yeah.
in the tournament, besides the penalty shootout, which we don't count.
Yeah.
So Aina, Juso,
So
Captain,
it's just that they've
Ajayi,
only
Basay,
conceded one goal
standards. That's
in
how
the
they've
entire
always
tournament so
had
far,
their
Nigeria.
defense.
Sure.
Whereas Bafana have only conceded 2 in their first game against Mali.
Is this the final before the final?
This is
This
the
is the
final
biggest
before
match
final.
of the tournament.
Pretty much.
Because tonight's game doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's Ivory Coast versus DRC.
Yeah.
This is the final before. This is the biggest match.
The
of
food is here. It's time to chow, guys. Sorry.
alcohol, food. Hey man, is that what you're here for?
freebies. Guys, Mac is literally just like
He's here for free alcohol
he's
and
here
free.
for our rider. He's literally here for our rider. Look, man, a very dangerous
There
man.
he is.
Scored 3 goals already. Osimhen
Osimhen.
having so many assists. I think he's got 4 assists.
Moses Simon.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna just drop the volume here
Yes, of
because I
course.
feel like
Let's do that.
we're shouting a bit extra.
Yes, friend.
Yeah.
Yes, friend.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so
VAR is ready.
I'll get the volume up a little bit. Ballers, let us know if this is disturbing you at all, having the
You can
volume
let
up
us in the
I need
comments.
Wi-Fi.
and how
We
it's
have
affecting
Wi-Fi
your
here.
stream. Just let us know.
My one actually.
Yeah. Let me use my phone. Fine.
So, Tsepi,
Fine, friend.
do you have any comments from the ballers here?
Do I have?
Comments from
Any
the ballers.
comments from the ballers?
Let me have a look quickly.
Actually, let me just go because I was actually connecting to the internet right now.
Okay.
So I'm sure. Okay, there we go. Hey, ballers. By the way, who is here? Who's watching?
So, just looking at this starting lineup again, it looks like a 4-3-3 according to those in charge with the digital board, Super Sub.
Sorry,
But I
Martha?
still think that it could be 3 at the back because it looks like, according to the digital board, it's a 4-3-3.
Yes, of course.
But I still think it could be 3 at the back.
Is it? So a 3 would then be Kulu and
Kulu,
yes.
Mvala, and Kekana.
and
Okay,
Kekana.
just so that they can support.
Although it could be
Kekana-
adapted.
Kolo is that, like you mentioned earlier, Kolo is just there for surety, you know, and he's just there to fill up those gaps, you know, like I was saying earlier, when Yomudau goes forward, Yomudiba goes forward, Kolo should be that player so that it doesn't take away a lot from your Sitole and Zwane, you know, when those goes forward, obviously they need to cover those gaps. So now we've got Kolo who is going to have to be doing that, you know, and then they will remain there in the midfield to neutralize Nigeria's ball position.
Fulufelo actually, Makado saying it's actually a 5-3-2.
Yes, it could be a 5-3-2.
Yeah.
So when I say 3 at the back,
Yes.
I think that the 3 and the 5 is very similar. So I would say that the right back and the left back are fullbacks. There's an
Okay.
early opportunity or half chance there for Nigeria.
Yeah.
But yes, could be 5-3-2.
Yeah.
Could be 5-2-3 as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So
The tummy is starting again. Remember, he had an abdominal issue. You see him touching his tummy. Is that what's happening right now, you guys? Wallas, am I seeing things? Is this
So-
tummy giving him issues?
Clearly we've paid our Sangoma.
well,
We've been. Where's Len? Where's Len, you guys?
and what Sepp is talking about is obviously Victor Osimhen joined the Nigeria squad late after abdominal
Yes,
trouble.
and he missed training on
And
Monday.
it looks like that abdominal trouble has returned for him. So
That is crazy, you guys.
when we say abdominal trouble,
Yes.
we initially thought perhaps some sort of stomach bug or something,
Me
but it
too.
seems like a muscular strain, so an
Oh,
abdominal
shame.
muscle
Yes,
strain.
So, yes.
So
oh,
he looks like
shame.
he'll play through the pain a little bit, but
Look, he's a
And I mean,
fighter,
but he
you
did
know,
have to
and
get substituted in the
he's
previous
hoping
match.
to continue.
if anything,
He's going to try.
he's gonna try.
But I
and-
mean, if he is not going to be able to continue, we do have a couple of replacements for him. There's a man called Paul Anauchu, is a possible replacement for Osimhen, and also another one, Kelechi
Iheanacho, former Man City player.
There we go, from Man City. So we have two possibilities,
There's the Leicester
just
City
in case he's
striker.
not
He's a
able
Leicester
to make
formerly with
it.
City as well.
Good
Oh, that's
player.
the Leicester striker I was talking about. MacG was probably right, guys.
Right. So then we, just looking at the formation once again, we originally thought Percy Tau would start from the left.
Yep.
Temba Zwane seemingly starting from the left and Percy Tau on the right wing.
Yeah.
And I was wrong about the back three. It is a 4-3-3.
A
And-
full 4-3-3-3. So 4 at the back,
4 at the back.
3 mid, and then
3
two
in the
forwards.
midfield, and then the 3 attackers
Yes, and then
of
one.
Zwane, Makopa, and Percy Tau.
Oh, I see. So instead of us having
wait,
a
you
see
Makopa-
where
now it
Kulu
is
is.
a back three once
Yes,
again, so
you
it
see?
depends on the thing. So
So
I
there are going
was
to be a lot of
corrected.
inverting happening
So
during
it
the
seems
match.
to be
Yes.
some inverting.
Exactly.
And there, number 5, Kulu, is separating the two centre backs and providing that extra defensive measure. So I apologize, ballers, for saying that I was wrong about the formation. I was spot
we
on
allowed, Fred.
about the formation change early on.
Yeah, we're going to need players like Tao today in a fixture like this to do a lot. You know, Tao
think
is
he
a
also
player
has
that
free.
always put himself in a position where he's got space so that he gets those balls. We're going to need him to be much involved in the play. You know, when the players were tracking back, he has to track back. When we're going forward, he has to go forward with the team. You know, we have to play like wolves. We have to hunt as a team and attack as a team, you know.
Yes, and also obviously still maintain our individual brilliance, because that's another thing that we also have. So,
Yes, darling.
yes, I just wanted to mention something. You know, it's actually Dao is going to have to then contend with Truster, like I've mentioned, who is the captain. Well, Dao Zwane as well as Makopa actually will have to then contend with Trustam, Ekongi, Ajay as well as Basi. And you know, we've seen in the past encounters, and that's the reason why they have not conceded in Nigeria, because their defense is rock solid. So then that, you know, I'm hoping that Pesitao is going to have his creative, dynamic cap on, because if that's not the case, then we might end up even going to extra time if we are not the ones that concede.
Yeah, no, Pesita, obviously, like I'm saying, today we're going to have to rely on his individual brilliance. He
Yeah.
needs to bring his A game. We haven't seen him doing much the entire tournament.
I
and
agree.
if there's any opportunity for him is this game to show us what we all fell in love with for him for, you know.
Yes,
And also another player, Zwane is one of our creative players, and we're gonna want him to bring his A game, because other than that, we are gonna battle with this Nigerian side that haven't considered so many goals.
I
And
agree.
we're gonna have to look at how Makopa contributes to the game as well. We've complained in the past of this tournament that he's not been brought into the game as much as he would have liked, but he needs to bring Zwane and Tau into this game because he's going to be very isolated in much of this fixture. He's going to be expected to do this a lot, chase down the ball,
He must-
getting
yes,
involved,
there we go.
Win those
etc.
duels.
And he does that very, very well, and that's why you see the manager sticking with him game after game in Hugo Bruce. And he's going to have to bring Zwane and Tau into the game as well.
So, gentlemen, do we also then start having a conversation of, or is it too premature? Should we have so much faith right now in our defense? You've mentioned, you know, your Kulus, your Kekanas and the like, that we are saying that there's not a lot of pressure that is going to be applied on Ronwen?
No, I expect Ronwen to have a game today. He's not going to be completely free of
No.
opportunities of being faced.
No, definitely.
He will have to make saves. It's just about the extent of danger that will be allowed upon him. Because Nigeria will change their game up if they continue to get frustrated to break down this back three. They'll be looking to take shots from distance. So they will be testing Ronwen Williams at some point. Hey. So
Missed
Temba
opportunity
Zwane
there,
looking
Makopa.
for Makopa there. Makopa unable to collect the ball.
Timing.
And
And
it's
so
the first sign of attacking
exactly.
proficiency
And
from
that is
Bafana
something
Bafana.
that is to be uploaded. And by the way, guys, speaking of that, I'm looking at some stats here, and it says here that for Nigeria, the first 0 to 15th minute of the match, in most cases, there aren't any goals. In fact, they start making serious attempts towards goal from 30 to 45, whereas with Bafana, you know, it's the first 15 minutes, the first 15 to 30, and the 30 to 45 is when we are at our hottest. But it's quite interesting that as much as we have attempts that are 16%, 30 to 45 minutes, Nigeria's one is 66. So more than anything, I think it's either Bafana, and actually you would then tell me, Marco, what you think the strategy should be. Should Bafana retain their energy right now, because we know that Nigeria come 30th minute all the way until 45 will then still, you know, start really attacking and also potentially scoring.
I think-
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that neither side has been full of goals in the tournament.
Anyway,
And
yeah.
the reason both these teams are here is we're seeing the two best defenses at the African Cup of Nations for this season. That's the real reason these sides are here. So, talking about goals, etc., I've already placed my bet on Betway.
Oh,
You
by
get
the
way
way,
more.
yes, I know.
If you are joining as a new user on the Betway app, remember to use the affiliate code Onside ZA. It really helps us out a lot. But I expect this to go beyond the 90 minutes and into the extra time period.
I agree.
I hope not. I'd love for Bafana to give us an easy evening off and let our souls and our hearts rest a little bit.
Yes, my friend.
But I expect this to go all the way, and I don't expect more than 1 or 2 goals in the entirety of the fixture.
Yeah, and
Yes,
also
and
if
yes,
both
friend.
teams are approaching these games with caution, you know,
Yes.
you
Absolutely.
can see they're trying to cancel each other. So no one is being over enterprising in this match. That's why it's a little bit slow, you know. And I think the game is gonna open up as time goes. But I think so far South Africa is winning the battle in the midfield. You know, I would like to. I'll be interested to see the stats after 10 minutes, what it looks like.
Just by the way, you are correct, gentlemen, when you say that, you know, these two teams have not been scoring as many goals, but they have been defensively, you know, top notch. Top goal scorer for Nigeria right now, Lukman obviously with 3 goals, and then it's Osman with 1, and then Trus Ekong with 1.
Yeah,
You
not
see?
many goals.
With us, Zwane with 2, Makopa, Masego, Mogoena, and Dao with one each.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah,
it
look-
hasn't been a high-scoring tournament thus
Yes,
far,
there we
you
go.
know. And also
mean-
these two sides,
Zwane's goals came against Namibia, both of them.
yeah, both of them, yeah.
And may I also mention something, and this is going to be quite interesting to see what happens here, because when you also look at just how clean this match thus far is, I was expecting more aggression, I was expecting serious some type of attack towards each other, and I'm not seeing that as much. In fact, it shows also here that when it comes to discipline, the guys have also been playing very well. Like, we don't have many people that then commit dissent in Nigeria as well as the South African team. So discipline clearly is something that is instilled in them.
We haven't seen a bag of yellow
Not
cards,
at all.
etc. We
No,
did see it
definitely.
perhaps against Mali in the first half under
Mali
those
was-
desperate
yes.
yellow card tackles. But otherwise, it's been a pretty clean tournament, and I think that's what happens when you've got a good defense.
Yeah.
You don't leave yourself vulnerable to silly yellow cards, silly red cards out of desperation, like we saw out of Morocco. We saw Morocco getting the desperate red card because Mokoena was pushing, and they were just running back in desperation, getting the red card.
Yeah.
And I think, once again, there's no silly cards being dished out to Bafana or Nigeria.
True.
Because they've got the cover.
Yeah,
True. Just by the way, sometimes we do have ballers that do come through who do not understand the concept of what a watch-along is. So a watch-along is you listening to us. We are hanging out with you while you watch the match, okay? So we are in your living room or wherever it is that you are. So we cannot show the match. But I know for a fact that if you go on SABC right now, or SABC Plus on the internet, or if you go to SuperSport, you will find this match. It is broadcast live, and we're only in the first 10th minute, so you have not missed out on a lot. And a big shout out to all the ballers also talking about Percy Tau. Most people are also sharing the same sentiments that Percy Tau does owe us something. He owes us that one moment of brilliance.
I agree
And
with
more
you.
so than owing us, he owes Hugo Bruce for his
I
loyalty
agree.
that he's shown to him. And
Definitely, definitely.
You know,
Look.
he needs to return the faith.
No, definitely. And I always say this, I've mentioned this, and I sound like I'm repeating myself a lot, that a lot of times coaches don't just take out their star players, and they give them opportunities after opportunities because they know there's that one game that they just rise up when all is down, and then they just
Yep.
give you that moment of brilliance, and that takes you to the next stage, And I'm hoping this is the match for Pesitao as well.
Guys, you know what got me in my feelings?
What's up?
What got me in my feelings is me finding out that
Leave the ball for Makopa.
Zwane should have left it for Mokopa.
If he
there.
just steps over that, Makopa is
That's
able to run
all.
onto it,
Yes.
and it would have been great. The other thing that we're seeing a lot of, and something you alluded to very early on, Super Sub,
Yeah.
is the inversions.
Yes.
The inversions in play. Let me just take 1 second to help some of the technical crew here behind us get sorted. You guys speak amongst yourselves. I'll be
Yes.
back.
Problem.
So I was saying, Super Sub, that's something that really caught my attention and actually got me in my feelings.
Yeah.
After the heroics of Ronwin Williams,
Yes.
and I obviously then took even more interest. I mean, I've always had an interest in Ronwin, but only to find out that at some point a couple of years ago he lost his elder brother.
Oh, shame.
And losing his older brother, it really broke him to a point where he stopped playing for a while.
Wow.
And his family, in fact his mother, had to be the one to say, I think your brother would have wanted you to continue to play. And that's
Wow.
the reason why he ended up coming back to football. And he says that that's the reason why every single time that he scores, or saves rather in this case, he looks up because he says he's talking to him.
Oh, wow. So there's so much out of this game.
There we go.
And I just hope we can go to the final,
You know what I mean? So
You
there's
know.
so much that the story behind Bafana, and just obviously the relationship that Hugo Bruce has with the boys, and also just how they feel about him. And then there was light. And then there was light. And just that relationship that the boys have with you. Oh, Bafetu, come on! Your boy Simon obviously doing the things. Simon is hella fast, man.
Yeah, it's hella fast, yeah.
And that combination of Simon, of Asiman, and that's the other man. We can never discount them. Oh yes, Lutman. Look at that. What a dive.
Let's see.
Look at that.
Oh, what a
He
dive.
barely touched it, but he actually was able to.
It was actually a good
Yeah.
save.
Do you see? He touched it. He was able to somehow divert it out of the way. And obviously Spider-Man is always at the right place at the right time. Spider-Man being Osman in this case. Aina. Aina. We don't want an Aina from Aina.
No,
Free.
we don't want Aina today.
A throw in coming in.
Clean match thus far.
And then there was like my sweethearts, many ballers once again saying, "Hey guys."
People wants to know where is Len. Just Len is gonna join us in the second half, ballers.
Len had a hat emergency, so his hat had to go in for repairs. And once the hat has been fixed,
Please tell us more. Tell us more about that story.
Like what must happen? Len Mulego is on the way, you guys. Ow, like
Uncle Len.
A good
Wow.
move. Come on, boys.
Percy Tau with a delicate touch.
That's
Makgopa
a
cuts
lovely
inside.
Too easy, too easy.
A first shot on target for
First shot
Bafana
on target, but I think it
from
was too easy.
Sitole,
And you know he
who
will
plays his
grab a
football in
ball
the
for you.
Portuguese second division. And he has been an unsung hero, Yaya Sitole.
No, definitely. He wins those duels in the midfield, you know. He controls the midfield a lot, you know, and his distribution as well is very, very important for this team, you know.
Yeah, and that's
And-
why I keep on saying about Sitole, guys. The thing about Sitole is that he will get you a ball and he will also retain it, and he's a dynamic player as well, and he really does form part of he's the backbone really of our midfield. So, it is
And I
something
think
that
looking
is to
at
be
this super sub,
Yeah.
Sitole almost guilty there of striking the ball too well. And we always see this
too
is that you sort of
perfect.
try to strike the ball straight at the goalkeeper. And if there's a little bit of a miss kick, it either veers left or right. And then that way, you're making it more difficult for the goalkeeper. So at times you can strike the ball too well, and then it's too direct and too straight down the line of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think they could have done well. I think he had a lot of time to place that ball, you know. Usually when you're in a position like that, coaches will always say, you know, you go for the corner, you know,
Yeah.
try to put it in the angle, you know.
Especially because it wasn't hit with a great amount of venom necessarily. You know, the strike wasn't extremely venomous, so you expect him to be able to maybe get more placement on the strike.
But let me tell you, I'm just pleasantly surprised and also quite impressed to see that as much as we were so afraid and nervous really about the defense of Nigeria and just how impenetrable it is, but somewhere, somehow in the first 15 minutes already, we're seeing that South Africa is able to pierce in there.
I think this is the best first 10-minute performance we've seen so far in the tournament from Bafana. Bafana have been like slow starters, let's
That's
say.
Sitole for you again, winning all those duels.
Makgopa over on the left wing now.
Yep.
And then retaining possession now well amongst
Lovely,
Modiba
lovely.
and Sitole.
Lovely. It's nice
Now
to see.
Mokoena on the ball. We know he can strike them.
And
there
what
that-
happens, Marco?
The transparency of thought or the cohesion that we were talking about amongst Sundowns players, that's now gone towards Percy Tau, who doesn't play week in, week out with Mokoena, so perhaps not able to read what's coming and the ball that's coming.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, man.
It was a lost opportunity there, you know, and it was meant to be a through ball, but you know there was no connection, you know.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
please go ahead.
Yes, some messages from the bowlers. Zapo saying that I have a feeling that we will fry these super chickens before second half. And Munich saying that Victor doesn't look strong. Victor does not look like he's at his best today, hey?
Yeah,
Look, he's one
definitely
of
not.
those players. I think he's a great player, but he hasn't really fired in all cylinders this tournament, you know.
I agree.
It's been one of those tournaments where for him he's only scored one goal, and Victor Osimhen of Napoli, he score week in, week out.
That's
you
it.
know, but you know, having a player like that, because he's a star player, it's always dangerous. You know, at any given time when they get that one opportunity, they bury those chances. You know,
Super
so you
sub-
can't rule those players out.
Yes, and super sub, and then when you've mentioned, like for example, he plays for Napoli, and then it takes us right back to this cul-de-sac of saying that because we have Mamelodi and Sundowns, the predominantly players in there, the chemistry is evident in this one. Evident as in Makgopa, but it is quite evident, the chemistry, hey?
So are we saying that Rulani is going to come out in a press conference after the tournament and say, you're welcome?
That's a penalty.
It has to be a penalty.
Oh, he says a free kick against
definitely, it should be. Let's see.
Makgopa.
Okay, let's see. That looks like he was. There was
certainly not offside.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, no, it's a penalty.
Okay.
Let's have a look again.
Okay, so I think he's given the free kick for the push from Tao on number
Or was it the
5.
handball? He mentioned. It looked like he gave the free kick for the handball. If
Very
he gave
interesting.
If he gave the free kick for the handball, then it's worth having a look at, because the handball happened after he has fallen.
And who's taking the free kick, Mahop?
It looks like there's no VAR having a look at it. They're sticking with the referee's decision.
Okay.
Let's see.
No VAR?
Oh,
It would have been very soft either which way.
No, definitely.
So far, your analysis, Tsepi, super sub.
I think we've got Nigeria by the scrotum. I don't think they're looking threatening. There are few moments of brilliance there and there, but I think we've got their number, and we had few of our moments as well where we were not clinical. We are able, at least we've seen that we are able to penetrate their defense. So I think fair game for both sides so far. I think it's. I don't think there have been clear-cut opportunities from both sides. Everyone is playing it cautious. But I thought Nigeria was going to be way better than they are right now.
me too.
I think that Bafana have come with a game plan, a very clear game plan.
Yeah.
And it is, not only is it a clear game plan, it's quite complex in its nature.
Yeah.
We spoke about the inversions,
Yeah.
a very distinct back 3 or back 5 rather, when in a defensive position.
Yeah.
And then you have those inversions with Modiba being prepared to go forward.
Yeah.
You have Mokopa prepared to switch from that central role to the right or to the
right,
left.
yeah.
And those inversions are making it extremely difficult for Nigeria's players to pick them up. And it's also, I think the important inversion here, and something we weren't thinking about, is Makopa's movement from right to left is allowing those long balls to be shot down the flanks.
Yeah.
And then he's able to collect, and we know that's what he's strong at, that's his skill set. He's able to hold the ball, bring the ball down from long balls, and then bring others into play. So that inversion from Makopa is proving key. And I'm really impressed with the tactical switch thus far.
Yeah, and as you can see what I was talking about earlier, that when the ball is on the left and Zwane is on the left, Sithole also tracks on the side as well to provide cover so that we don't have those open spaces.
And a save for Chipa United.
A save for Chipa United.
One thing for sure, we know there's one man from South Africa supporting them.
Definitely. There's something that I love, the composure of Mokoena all the time.
Teboho Edgar Davids Mokoena.
Debo, all the time. I
He
just
reminds me of
love
Edgar
how
Davids.
composed.
Yeah, it reminds you of?
Edgar Davids.
Oh, Edgar Davids, the former Juventus
the
player.
Netherlands and Juventus great,
Yeah.
iconic player.
Yeah, you can tell he's a striker,
That's a striker's challenge right there. On Onyeka.
Look, we're on the, I think, 30th minute now.
Yes, indeed.
Almost 30th, and this is the first set piece we've given away. So we've been really disciplined,
Yeah,
And you know
we
what you always say about set pieces, Super Sub, and also you know how we've watched obviously all the matches of Bafana, and how you've always lamented on how they constantly playing in our half, and for once.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Would you say that's a silly free kick right there?
It's a silly free kick. Those are the things that we don't require. You're giving Nigeria opportunities where there was none. You know what I mean?
You and I mentioned this several times against Cabo Verde because we said they're extremely dangerous from the set pieces. So we were saying be careful of silly set pieces.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of quality in this Nigeria side.
There's Mama Africa there watching from the stands.
Is that Baba Africa?
Yeah. That's
Oh.
Yvonne Chaka Chaka.
Is that Baba Africa?
Next
door.
I don't know. I don't want to speculate.
He looks young.
Hey, you never know. It could be hey, boy Africa.
But did you hear what Super Sub just said?
Okay, so a talking to from the referee. No more handsy in the box.
Uh-huh.
A
Yeah.
little bit of grabbing, getting into grips with each other.
I don't know.
And you expect that when you've got a top player, top talent like Osimhen that you're facing up against.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I don't know if you've picked up, Marco, as well. The inclusion of Tulu is also allowing Sithole to be more enterprising, to go for those balls,
It's a good delivery, and it's a
Yeah,
first
good
save for
delivery.
Onwin Williams. And this is what we're saying about silly free kicks. As much as we cheer and we're glad that South Africa managed
should not
to
even be
defend
the
this set
case.
piece, it shows the danger.
24 minutes in, and it's still a 0-0 draw.
I've got this comment from Bola Mashalino Bukis. He says South Africa should win this AFCON, so we as Namibians can at least say we've lost to the best team in the tournament. Good luck, Bafana Bafana.
Oh, that is so sweet. We love you.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Look, Namibia, they got rewarded from the government, from the states, the Namibian squad, after their performance with their opening victory
lovely.
against
That's taller.
Another
Tunisia.
round, let's see.
Oh, that was
Zwane. And away.
that was very nearly for Themba Zwane. And the one thing I must say about commenting on a game, being
Yeah.
involved in a watch-along,
Yep.
is I don't know how commentators don't lose their breath in those moments. That moment of tension
Another
for
one,
you
let's
to
go.
constantly talk through it. And Makopa, I don't know if I'm correct
What's
in
happening
saying this,
with
but
him,
if I
Jay?
were to look at the stats,
Yeah.
I'd say Makopa is the Bafana player with the most touches in the first half so far.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably one of the players that have,
He'll be one
have
of the-
clocked more.
Touches of the ball.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to see, considering also you can see that his confidence has taken a nice boost because of,
Again.
also finally getting, his goal that is so desperately wanted.
And that last-ditch challenge on
Yep.
Themba Zwane.
And
Bafana are
Stats.
certainly causing more headaches than what we've seen for Nigeria throughout
True.
the tournament. Nigeria are the best defense in the tournament. We're reinstating this once again. And they're looking like, it's beautiful football.
It's another
Beautiful
one.
football. And you can hear the excitement.
Come on! We are not clinical in our finishes. Come on.
we're not clinical
Just
enough.
looking for penalties.
We're not clinical.
This referee's having none of it. And I believe it was Mudau who could have put the ball in earlier. It is Mudau running down the right wing.
Oh, this is
Mudau there should have just chipped the ball.
Yeah,
have.
if he puts more on that ball in for Themba Zwane,
hard. You could have.
and that looks like, is it Mokwena who's looking for it? This might go to
it looks like the
VAR.
hand is a natural position. So it's
He's-
going to be very soft if it's given as a penalty.
Yes, but VAR might look at this because of the movement towards the ball. There might be a slight movement towards the ball, but
Yes,
VAR has
VAR,
cleared it. VAR has now cleared it, like you said, with the hands behind the back and the distance from the cross. Very hard to give that. Would be a very harsh
It
penalty.
would have been harsh to give that as a penalty if
I
you are
agree.
being fair.
But you can feel the energy here at Coffee in Midrand.
And
No,
if you have not-
definitely.
and
We
mind you,
are-
there's still a lot of space, so please come through, ballers.
And I think that this
Marco,
is a reflection of the energy around South Africa at the moment.
And
But let me
Marco,
just tell you that
remember
we
what I
are
was
playing
saying
enterprising
earlier?
football. Here's another chance here. Let's go.
And it's Percy Tau with a very poor shot. Percy Tau with an opportunity to open the scoring.
one job,
and
bro.
he's dragged the shot along the floor and
Come
shows
on,
poor
Percy.
technique.
Come on, Percy.
And
Come on, Percy.
Morena on for Tau, surely at some point.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was a poor kick from Tau. Opportunities like that, we need to bury them because we're not
Yeah.
going to get many of those.
And I mean,
we're
most of
starting to gain momentum, and we need to be clinical within our final third. Earlier on, Marco was talking about how the inclusion of Tulu has allowed I've allowed the Stolle to even go more forward, and we
Yes.
can see that he's going more forward and he's winning those duels and he's creating opportunities for us in this game.
I've been extremely impressed with the tactical changes once again. I'll reinstate that once again. The tactical changes made by Hugo Bruce to cope with Nigeria and the calm defending, which we didn't see against Cape Verde.
No,
where
definitely.
There was a lot of panic in that defense. So even though Kulu perhaps had the poorer performance of the tournament so far for Bafana against Mali, he has allowed other players to
There's-
free up the play.
There's Stolle again winning all those duels for us, and I feel like so far Tole has done so well in the midfield.
Extremely
He has managed to neutralize Nigerian midfield.
That's true.
And you were
but
talking about Nigeria packing out that midfield and being dominant in the midfield.
Exactly.
And Sitole has bossed the midfield.
exactly
Definitely.
And
because
it's freed up Mokwena, it's freed up Mudau, it's freed up several other players to be more enterprising going forward. And that's why we're seeing the opportunities we're seeing.
Exactly. So I was just about to mention that
Yeah, no.
because they really wanted to beef up their midfield, and I'm talking about Nigeria, they lost encounter against Angola. In fact, they had a 4 in the back, and in this case, they had a 3 because they were probably thinking that we're not that much of a threat when it comes to, infiltrating into their defense. But as you can see, that is actually working against them.
I'm not sure that would be fair to the performance from Bafana
Yeah.
to say, though, because I think that Nigeria have been quite tight and astute in their game.
Yes.
And they have perhaps threatened slightly, but I think just tactically we have to reinstate this. Bafana have been excellent.
Yep.
They've maintained possession, they've shifted and moved, there's been inversions in the play.
Very dynamic.
Extremely difficult to
So
play
many
against.
invasions and so difficult for Nigerians to track Bafana players.
Yep.
And the 1-2s of the passes and the
And not
the
losing
speed of the
possession
movement,
like
the
we
speed
did.
of the passing
Yeah.
has been excellent. I think that Bafana have had a slight issue with the final ball, perhaps, because a lot of the opportunities have come. Victor
So it's just
Osimhen
a
having a
matter
go
of us
from
not
his own
being-
half.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, perhaps could
Yeah,
have been
yeah.
given as a
Yeah.
handball,
A
and
cooling
we
break.
have our first cooling break of the
30
first
minutes
half,
in. Yeah.
which will
Yeah,
allow
look, I
me to
feel
have my
like there's
first
something
cooling break.
missing with Pesitao because he's getting in those positions. I think confidence is a little bit down,
I agree.
and a player like this, you would like him to come from a bench. You give him the last 25 minutes of the game. That's when he's more efficient, when the confidence is down.
Yes, but even so, when a super sub, I think at the stature of Percy Dow and playing in a very competitive league, play for Al Ahly in this case, I'm expecting him to be able to take this pressure and then convert it then into something that is positive. So I'm not sure exactly why his psyche is taking a beating right now.
Yeah.
So, Betway giving away an opportunity to win 25,000 Rand.
Oh, yes, friend.
if you place your bets on Bafana versus Nigeria. So be sure to get on the Betway app and place those bets where you can, once again, not only win great returns if you place your bet correctly, and hopefully you are betting on South Africa to beat Nigeria or at least progress to the next round.
But you can
But
get
also that
way
opportunity at a massive 25,000 Rand given away today specifically from this fixture, which is a really great initiative from Betway.
I agree.
And you can see with the graphics that Hugo
position.
Bruce, when he came into this game, he had a very clear plan of, compacting that midfield. Make sure that there is no space in the midfield that allows Nigerians with their creativity. And you can see all our players, they are really, really centered in the midfield, trying to boost our attack.
And it was actually a very a good combative way to go about it, considering that Nigeria came into the midfield and they made sure that they fill it up. So it's nice to see that Hugo has it's actually the knowledge and also just the wisdom. Actually, in this case, the wisdom to be able to combat a Nigerian team the manner in which he has.
I know that our focus is currently on AFCON and on this game in particular.
Yeah.
But when AFCON draws to a close,
Yes, friend.
could we see Rulani adapting these sort of tactical changes? Of course, the squad's still largely Mamelodi Sundowns contingent. Could we see Rulani making these adaptive changes in CAF Champions League, for example?
Yes,
It's
I
highly
think-
possible because I think he's going to also learn a lot from a guy like Hugo Bruce. Hugo Bruce, we know he has won it with Cameroon, so he knows Africa very well. So he's probably taking some notes, in as much as Hugo was taking some notes from Rulani,
Yep.
Of
And I
course.
think the thing about Rulani also as a coach, because of how young he is, he's also very adaptable. He's not stuck in his ways. And, that's why he introduces different styles of play. And, I'm reading an article about how he tells the players to train with their shoes off. So that gives you a clear indication of just how forward thinking he is. So I'm sure he'd want to then, take a couple of things and not be as arrogant as maybe someone who's been in the game much longer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes complete sense. And what I love to see there, Super South,
Yeah.
is the pressure applied on Uvani from Nigeria forces him to get the touch and give away a corner kick from an otherwise largely unthreatening long delivery into the back.
Definitely.
So
that's what
he's
we
been
need.
forced to make the touch. And now it's a corner kick opportunity, a set piece opportunity for
Let's
Bafana
see.
Bafana. Of course, Nigeria have the height, but Percy Tau with a good quality delivery and not the best
From Sithole.
connection
Not at
from
all.
Sithole.
Yeah. But we can't downplay also just how well he's been doing. I'm going
And
into the 40th
Iwobi
minute of
seemed
this
to switch
encounter.
off for a moment. And it was actually quite a good opportunity to either get the ball back across goal and have another player get a touch, or to go straight towards goal. And once again, defensively, Bafana giving Nigeria very little.
And we're winning those midfield duels, you know, and we need to do more with our balls. We can't be giving away positions those so cheaply.
And once
Again,
again,
we're winning those midfield battles.
and this is Temba
So
Zwane,
Zwane.
the general, winning back possession, and then a
Lovely.
long ball up towards Percy Tau. I'm rendered speechless, first of all, because that is a terrific opportunity for Percy Tau, and his touch lets him down. He's played too much on it, and not only has he played too much on it, there's a large amount of space between him and the goalkeeper at that point. So a better touch and he's in. A better touch and he's in one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And you can hear the frustration
what the
around
ball
the
is,
place
of
after a
course.
great
Yeah.
opportunity
Yeah,
goes
definitely.
a-begging.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean,
Look,
at this point, we could have
he's
easily
getting
had
into
a
those
two.
spaces, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, he's not clinical enough, you know. And I'm hoping that this revs him up to do more, you know.
And South Africa, looking at the stats, dominating the possession, close to 60% possession for Bafana against Nigeria.
Gabi ZA saying that if Osman gets that opportunity that Tau has received, it's a goal, and that's the difference between Nigeria and us.
He's got a
the
very
lack
serious
of being
point.
clinical. There we go.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
I wouldn't imagine. It's another long ball, switching to Tau, whose touch lets him down.
Yeah, look, and
You hate to see this happen to a player.
I
Yep.
don't
You
like
know-
seeing this, especially a player of his quality.
It's
His
heartening.
quality,
you
and
know.
it's really
Yeah.
disappointing.
It is.
But again,
There's
in a
literally
situation like
laughter
this,
around us.
A coach should save the player. A coach
From
should be
himself.
a coach should be the one that, you know, put him on the bench and say, you know what, I'll give you the last 15 minutes of the game.
And it's,
you know?
it's okay.
It's
also.
okay, you know.
Yeah.
Another shot on target from Alex Iwobi.
You know, earlier MacG was talking about how Iwobi is so effective with his balls and distribution, you know, and it's evident, you know, he gets to those balls and then he makes it so easy, but he's very efficient, you know, and he's somebody that we need to be looking out for in the midfield.
The mid. Yep.
And that's not the most effective strike from him, but what impressed me with that strike is he's able to dig the ball out from under his feet quite effectively. And that is a
Never
free
man
kick for
down.
Bafana
Yep.
Bafana.
Sithole is really putting in a shift, which
He came to work.
yeah,
He came to work.
Bafana's man of the match so far?
definitely Sithole.
I'd imagine so. He's bossed the midfield. He's created going forward.
Yeah.
He's been astounding defensively, breaking up the play.
And again, I want to commend Hugo Bruce for these changes, because maybe I'm repeating myself a lot, but the inclusion of Kulu in this game was very important, because now we're seeing Sithole being more enterprising and feeding into those spaces and giving Yozwane the ball and Yopesitao the ball.
I agree, but also Kulu then being in a position where he's able to be more instrumental, because, you know, the Mali match, we somehow had our reservations about Kulu, so it's also nice to find him in a position where he's able to, you know, be instrumental and really support the guys, you know, Sithole in this case. So it's nice, and I just once again love that, you know, Hugo Bros actually gave him an opportunity again.
And you see Mokoena falling back, looking to collect the ball. And this is where I was saying a back three, where we mentioned earlier the idea of a back five or a back three, etc.
Yes, yes.
And that is the best opportunity of the game and a
Opa.
redeeming moment for Percy Tau, super sub, because this is a terrific touch from Percy Tau. That is
Definitely.
a little magic moment of brilliance,
But even
because
just the
the
overall
weight on that
distribution was
ball,
excellent.
the weight on that ball to Makopa is what allows the shot, and he looks to bend it. And when you're bending that sort of delivery, it needs to start just outside of the post and then bend in, and that's what allowed the height of the shot,
Yeah.
as well as being just inside the pass as it's supposed to be in, but the best opportunity of the
Another
game
set
so
piece,
far.
let's see.
Definitely.
And well done, Percy Tau. And more of that, please. Another corner kick, and the pressure is on Nigeria at the moment.
No, definitely.
And it looks like it will be Percy Tau to take the corner kick. Right on the goalkeeper as he tests his credentials.
No, desperate. I mean, that's a desperate defense from Nigeria.
Yes,
you know?
and they're scrambling.
And we
I
were-
see them scrambling.
We were talking about their effectiveness in transition. No transition at all.
No transition at all, because we managed to compact them in the midfield.
What a delivery from the back. And Percy Tau's touch lets him down ever so slightly again, but a very good run.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have to try really hard to defend
I
Percy
feel
Tau
like,
in this game.
and I'm about to ask
Again, as well,
in this
you need to
case-
commend him for getting into those spaces. That's a quality that he brings into this team. But right now, we just need him to be more effective and more clinical.
There we go. But do we then start to consider Percy Tau? Do we retain him come second half?
Well, I think that if you're Hugo Bruce and you're
Yes.
looking at this and you say, do I change things? The answer is no. Until around 65, 70 minutes even.
Exactly.
And at which point the scoreline would determine how you change the game.
Uh-huh.
And Morena has to be the first thought
Yeah, definitely. agree
in
with you.
Hugo Bruce's head, is that Morena needs to come on at some point in this fixture.
Uh-huh.
And around 70 minutes, the question would be, does Themba Zwane have the legs to continue in the game? Is he the one sacrificed?
Or then,
Or if I'm looking at the game tactically, Percy Tau will be the player that surely needs to step aside for Morena to come and be that direct player that's threatening.
No, I agree with you. Look, a player like that, once you started the game, you just don't sub them, You give them at least until 60 minutes, because we can see that he's getting into those spaces, he's getting those chances. It's just a matter of time until he buries one,
another save from Ronwin.
And that's a save by Ronwin Williams, gathering beautifully and keeping hold of the ball. Brought to you by Betway, where you get way more.
Let's pay the bills, my friend.
I'm joking.
Keep the lights on.
But that is that touch
Ooh,
by Percy
yes.
Tau
Beautiful
Saw that.
touch.
is
Yep.
why the manager seems to keep standing by Percy Tau.
And that's the quality
it
of
seems
Percy.
like the easier opportunities are the ones that he doesn't take.
Yeah.
The easier touch.
He wants spectacular.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a desire thing. It's just he has so much quality.
Yes.
Keep it simple, stupid. Right? It's just being able to do the simple things well
Like
is
a-
priority. And then those extra moments of brilliance, being able to do the magic that other players aren't able to do, is what you want on top of that. But you need the primary, main,
basics.
simple.
Just get it to the
The
basics.
basics.
Just do the basics.
Get the
That's it.
basics right.
Cheers, friend.
You need that.
Yes.
And again, Sitole, just
Excellent.
beautiful
Okay.
play.
Beautiful play.
Themba Zwane able to bring the ball back to Mokwena as well. And more chips and the physicality of Nigeria showing there that doesn't allow Themba Zwane to return onto that ball.
42 minutes
So
in. Do we think extra
as we
time?
approach half time,
What are we saying? An extra 3 minutes? We haven't had a lot of stoppages.
the
Right?
cooling break doesn't accumulate
Doesn't,
at a
no.
time.
It's a
Yeah.
minute.
2 minutes of at a time, maybe 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
maximum.
most 4 or 5.
4 or 5,
yeah,
stop
4 or 5 would be a lot. But
Get your mind out of the gutter.
let's be honest. This is a good opportunity for Nigeria, but again, Bafana covering well. And Alex Iwobi calm in midfield, even though we now see a delivery into the box. And it comes off Mudau, who has been an absolute warrior throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I hate these corner kick set pieces because they've got aerial advantage, and
They do. And
you
they
know,
are
Marco,
clinical,
I
my
hate
friend.
giving set pieces in your own half.
Yep.
It's one of those things that I despise in football because a team can be off form. They could be in a position where they're not creating any chances, and then you give them that, and then they bury one, and that's it.
And we know that these people have the opportunity,
Well,
or the advantage of being able to do that.
Hugo Bruce has obviously part of his decision making to bring Kulu back into the side is the physicality and the height element of it, is to deal with the physicality. And there's a first opportunity for Victor Osimhen to show.
And he looks very frustrated, by the way.
the
Extremely
entire
frustrated.
Nigeria side is
Yes,
going to be frustrated
yes,
with how
of
this
course.
game has gone so far.
And it doesn't help that as much as they might have, a cheaper United keeper, but we don't consider him to be, one of the best.
So Ronwin Williams has been largely unneeded by Bafana so far.
True.
It's been a simple game for him.
Good
But
communication
the
there
thing
from
about
our
him is that
defense.
when he is needed, he arrives.
Absolutely, as we saw against Cape Verde.
Definitely.
We can see Nigeria now, they're trying to play long balls now, trying to stretch us out.
As they come into the game ever so slightly more, a minute or two ago, I was thinking to myself, Nigeria will be wanting the halftime whistle way more than Bafana. Bafana will want the opportunity to attack.
Definitely agree
But
with you,
Nigeria not threatening in their dominance now as the half closes.
Pass the ball, bro. Pass the ball,
So
bro.
Madiba fouled as he manages to keep the ball from Adamala Lukman. And we see those additional minutes for added time at the end of the first
And
half.
I mean, Jose
2
is
minutes.
also not very
And-
happy about what is happening. He also looks quite frustrated at his boys.
Yeah, Coach Jose looks like
Jose is
a
not happy. Yeah.
frustrated figure on the sidelines
agree.
there. He knows his team has been
And he
second best.
I agree, and he was actually more composed in the other, matches. I saw him against Angola. It was really a cutthroat match, but he was not as frustrated as we are seeing him right now. So it seems as though the game plan, they are deviating completely from it.
Super Sub, you and I were discussing before the game kicked off that if this game does go the distance and then extra time is needed, that Bafana have played 30 minutes more of football because they went to extra time against Cabo Verde on Sunday. And also, they played on Sunday. Nigeria's game was on Saturday. So
They got to
Nigeria have
rest.
had that extra game
Yes.
of
And a
rest.
day of rest.
But looking at this first half, Nigeria is the team that's had to do more running because Bafana have had more possession. So Makopa playing in Modiba, and Modiba just looking to hold possession, plays in Tembazwane. We know the quality he has to bring other players into the game.
Excellent distribution as well.
Sitole again, Mokwena, and again Modiba and Mudau are high up the pitch as fullbacks, which
Definitely.
even further, the linesman not giving that as a free kick, but Bafana retain
play on.
possession of the ball. Mokwena with a poor delivery to the back
A little
post.
bit ambitious there
And-
from Mukwena. He's that kind of a player that will always try
take a
from
chance.
range, and he
Yes.
has won some,
Yep.
He
He'll take
has
a chance.
he has confidence in his abilities.
Definitely.
Mabola, I am Jason saying that those balls into the box will eventually find Osimhen, and that's one thing we're crossing our fingers that it does not happen, because
We expect the halftime whistle to go shortly.
just now,
Tepe Worldwide, your
Dole.
thoughts on the first half?
first half we are dominant, and for the first time this entire competition, I'm seeing our defense very comfortable. And also, like you've mentioned, the introduction of Kulu, or not introduction per se, him being part of the midfield in this case, has also been quite instrumental. I love that. And I mean, Sitole, man.
MacG.
A young man.
Pudi, man. Pudi.
Look, Pesitao
He's a
is one
goat.
of those players
Is that what
that
you're saying? He's a goat.
he's our
No,
star
man.
player.
Puri King.
And
Well, what is pub? whatever animal is pub, that's him.
election vati inkomo.
Inkomo.
Puri is the goat.
That's flattering. No.
So what is happening? I think his confidence is down, and he's one of those players that he's a star player. Let's start there, and usually coaches will keep their star players because they know at any given time there will be moment of
He is a
brilliance.
talisman,
And
yeah.
I saw one moment of brilliance where he brings a very difficult ball out the sky and lays it back with the perfect amount of pace for Makopa to have the
Exactly
best
that.
opportunity
Yeah,
of
but
the
Mark,
first
how many
half.
chances does he need?
But
I mean,
he does
his
need to
first
do the
touch has
simple
been
things
terrible.
better. Yeah,
First touch has been terrible.
poor.
Yeah,
we
I agree.
were critical of Tau as well, but we're just mentioning that is why the coach seems to stick with him, is waiting for that moment of brilliance that Percy Tau is capable of, that few other players are, really. But, I mean, we've got players like Morena
who can still
ready
come
to
on.
come on.
Mayambela as well, who's
Mayambela
enterprising
as
as
well.
well.
We're expecting
yes,
Themba Zwane to perhaps only have another 15, 20
We
minutes.
still have Lepasa
And Lepasa, who can come on, who's more likely to come on for
at the
Makopa
end. Yeah.
rather than Tau or
Yep,
Zwane.
definitely.
But what we're seeing is the width is being provided by Modiba and Mudau.
Yeah, and what we can take out of the first half is the fact that we managed to contain Nigeria in the midfield, which is where they are very dangerous.
True.
Yeah.
All of their attacking play starts from the midfield. You can see with their formation, and we've managed to penetrate that defense, which haven't conceded so many goals in this tournament. So we are getting in those spaces, but we just need to be more clinical than we are in the first half. Coming to the second half, I think a player like Pesitao, maybe in the 60th minute, will have to make his way out and bring on a player that is fresh in Mayambela,
legs,
who's
yeah.
more enterprising. Unfortunately, Maseko is injured. That it's a player that would have called on to come on and change things for us. But I think Pesitao needs to come off maybe around 60 minutes and get your Mayambela, who's more. He's a creative player as well, and he
an
can
excellent
definitely
attacking
give more.
midfielder.
Yeah, but so far so good. I mean, for me, I think the first half was amazing. The first 10 minutes was a bit cagey.
Yeah.
And then we got our chances, which I think we might regret at the end of the game.
That's
Because
the
that's
fear.
the thing with tournaments, especially tournament football. If you don't take your chances, you might end up regretting them.
Yeah,
Especially in a
I agree with you fully.
competitive game like this one, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Because
But
Nigeria.
I found a baller for you guys. Let me bring him here. There's a baller.
Sure.
great.
Yeah, he's been screaming penalty for everything.
Even corner kick. So, Marco, I'm echoing what MacGyver is saying, that in tournaments you have to be clinical, and I couldn't agree with you. I couldn't agree with him more there. And also, if Nigeria gets in the spaces that we are getting into, chances are they're gonna bury one of those.
That's it. Hello, Bola.
All right.
Welcome, Bola.
What's
What
your
did you
name?
think of the first half?
No, what's your name, Bola?
All right, my name is Larry Sanem Gonyam.
Ngonyamaleri.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thoughts on the first half?
So, you know what, our boys tried, but we're trying too much.
Okay.
We are not aggressive enough.
Okay.
So we just need to take those chances. We don't have to go to the keeper. We need to shoot from a distance.
So like a
So that's where
Mokoena.
we're lacking, because these guys, they are owners, they know our strength, so they can easily mark us. So we need to try and attempt from a distance.
So, are you saying that they're guilty of overplaying, or is it more a factor of perhaps being more direct in the play? I mean, we're seeing a lot of long balls being played, and Makopa being asked the question of, can you keep this and bring others into play? Percy Tau, we saw a couple opportunities where he's run onto a long ball. His touch let him down a couple times, which is frustration for many of the fans here. But what do you change in that? I think Sitole has been dominant in the midfield. Mokoena has been dominant in the midfield. Where do you change it? Do you want more of those little 1-2 passes, or do you stick to that long ball and ask Makopa to keep doing the job that he's doing?
So for now, I think Makopa needs to be assisted. Those long balls are good enough. We're putting them on the back foot. They're not attacking us because of those long balls. So when they want to attack us, they are mindful of those long balls that we're going to hit them on a counter. So we need someone to assist Makopa.
So that would be Tau or Zwane that needs to be closer to Makopa when those long balls come into play.
Exactly. Makopa needs support. I think Tau is too much on himself. He's hard on himself. He needs to relax. If he can learn to relax, I think we can get something out of him.
I actually agree with you there, and I think that we were mentioning now that we believe Hugo Bruce is sticking with Percy Tau because he believes the player can bring that moment of magic that can change a game. And we saw a moment of magic where he set up Makopa for the best chance of the game, where he plucked the ball out of the air and paced it perfectly for Makopa to run onto. And that was an extremely difficult skill that I think looks simpler than it really was. It's a far more difficult skill than how it looked. But he's getting the basics wrong. And I think that's being in your own head, right? Is that when it's a really difficult piece of skill, sometimes you just allow it to happen naturally because it's something difficult. Can't think about it. But when it's got too much time, when he's got too much time to think about it, maybe Percy Tau is guilty of putting too much pressure on himself and just relaxing and playing his game the way he knows how.
Yes.
Could really turn the game over for Percy Tau. And if Percy Tau turns his game over, this is not 0-0.
Nah.
I mean,
Nah.
there were 2 chances there that if he just
Good
gets the
chances.
basic right,
Simple.
he's 2-0 up.
Simplify it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think second half, we don't need to make changes or subs. We
No,
just
of
need
course
to
not.
stick to this. And then the boys, they just need to polish here and there. And we need to take those chances. The shots,
Absolutely.
they need to shoot from a distance.
Couldn't agree
Have a-
more. I think there's not a lot for Hugo Bruce to say at half time,
Nah.
other than
Nah.
perhaps some small little subtle changes, and say, guys, be more clinical when those chances come.
There we
Exactly.
go. I have a message from a Rasby saying that experience is vital in games like this. If it goes to penalties, good kickers must still be in the game. And I think also, I mean, considering also as much as it's an experienced game in this case, I mean, Coach Hugo Bruce has, won this competition a couple of years ago, back in 2017. So, and you can see that experience is also playing a big part here. We've always known
Exactly.
Hugo Bruce for the past 3 matches, give or take, to have the same starting lineup. And in fact, when I looked at the stats, it's exactly how he won. AFCON in 2017 by continuously having the same people. It seems as though the more matches you play together, then you build that cohesion and also that chemistry.
I think that speaks to the professionality of the Bafana back staff in
Yeah,
general,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
I mean, Super Sub, you can allude to this. Beyond Hugo Bruce, there seems to be a lot of professionality in the entire backroom staff, as it were, of Bafana.
No, definitely, and it's something that we alluded to in yesterday's show, that the structures under Hugo Bruce are effective and there's unity in the team.
True.
You can tell from the players that are not even playing, they are as hyped as the players that are on the field, and that's what you need from the squad, and that's a recipe for success, and that's why we've got local players excelling in this tournament, because they're
True.
in unity, and there's nothing that beats that. And I think we are very close to taking this fixture. We just need to be clinical in the second half, and I think the introduction of a player like Mayambela and maybe Olibasa, sacrifice Makoba and Zwane will definitely bring some sort of like more creativity in front and some clinicality,
Super Sub, if I can ask you to keep the mic closer to your mouth there when you're saying that, but that unity, the volume of Mamelodi Sundowns players in the squad once again. Your
Can
week
we-
in, week out, these are your colleagues.
But can we also talk about how, as much as, and you can imagine that we have a majority of Mamelodi Sundowns players, but we need to also applaud, players coming from other teams and how they were able to gel also with the other
Exactly.
players. You
Yeah.
see, because that also might be a bit of a challenge.
And I think watching the players walk off the bus and leading each other in song.
Yeah.
A lot of unity in that same sort of
I
team
agree.
spirit. It's like every game they walk out the dressing room and there's song being
Yep.
led by Mvala, Ronwen Williams, Percy Tau, all getting involved heavily in that unifying experience of the squad.
Yep.
And you have to commend once again Hugo Bruce and the backroom staff.
Let's talk about Nigeria, Marco. As it stands, obviously, Osman taking his chances, as well as Lukman. We're expecting that, and Simon once again being stellar. But who else would we say is a person that is quite instrumental and just giving Bafana a bit of a run for their money?
So far, Alex Iwobi has perhaps been the one
In the
player.
midfield.
There's not
Yeah.
a lot to pick out from Nigeria. They were second
Yep,
best
yep,
throughout
yep,
the
yep.
first
They were
half, right?
watching, yeah.
Yep.
So to choose a Nigerian player that you say, watch out for him.
Yep.
I mean,
difficult.
if you need to watch out for someone, it's Osimhen,
Of
it's
course.
Lukman, just as it was before the game kicked off.
Yep.
But on the evidence of the first half, Alex Iwobi perhaps played quite well,
Uh-huh.
but Nigeria were second best throughout the first half.
Definitely, and I don't think the Nigerian coach will look at this first 11 and say, I need to make changes. He will just demand more from the players because he's got quality in the squad. It's just a matter of them going out there, win those duels in the midfield, create more chances, because right now they are not winning the midfield, they're not creating chances. Osimeni is left alone, Lukman and Simon are not feeding him with any ball. So he will just demand more from his players.
Is it not an opportunity, and perhaps you can allude to this, for Nigeria to change formation? They've been stifled in that midfield, as Super Sub has said. Now, they've played with a 3-4-3
yeah.
throughout the tournament, a 3-4-3 formation.
No,
Is this not the opportunity to play?
4-3-3. I think in Angola was a 4-3-3, if I'm not
Well, they
mistaken.
certainly start every game with three at the back,
Okay.
with a 3-4-3 formation.
Yeah.
So should they not be looking at a 4-2-3-1, start packing out the midfield a little bit, get back on the game?
So looking at the way we play our pocket football, I think they'll be a bit skeptical at the back. They still want to contain us.
Yeah.
So
So we have
So-
another bowler, my friend.
Sinatemba is here with
Sinatemba.
us.
Sina Temba,
Come
come
through.
please.
thank you
Come
guys.
through. I
Bring
want to
your
go
hands up.
and check.
What's your name?
Pull through. there's no ghost lady here.
There's a Bafana
Larry,
searcher.
thank you so much, bro. Thank you
guys,
so
thank
much,
you
bro.
guys.
So much. We'll call you up again at
Yeah, just before, after halftime, of course. Look at the halftime. Just after 90. Give him the mic.
He's got one.
Okay, put it there, put it there, put it there. And we are joined by
Sinetemba,
Sinatemba
Same,
Siame,
Same, S-A-M-E.
Semi.
No, same, S-A-M-E.
Okay, Sinatemba. Let's keep it at Sinatemba. Very, very quickly, before we go into the second half, just give me a bit of a synopsis of what your thoughts are, from Bafana specifically.
So my thoughts are that we have a proper coach. The
Okay.
reason I'm saying we have a proper coach, we've got a very solid structure.
Ah.
Without the ball, we are playing amazingly, which is something new in South Africa. Nigeria cannot even complete 4 passes.
Exactly.
They are better off when we have the ball than when we don't have it. So
Uh-huh.
that's a sign of a quality coach. Look at us when we lose the ball, we go back to the structure. In 3 passes, we intercept because they pass it to us.
we win the ball
And
back.
That has been a moment of a shocker for them. It's something to think about because normally, previously, when we lose the ball, we can't go back to a formation.
Yes.
We can't go back to a
To our
so that
discipline,
shows that
yeah.
this guy, like we have a plan. This
Yeah.
is something that we've last seen in 1996. When you lose the ball, that's when you win the game.
Yeah.
Well, I'm worried about us missing chances, obvious chances.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
You know, that could cost us at the end, but Nigeria cannot cope with us when we don't have the ball.
So how
I
do we
agree with
remedy
you.
that, my friend? The missing chances. How do we remedy that going into the second half?
No, we just need to, we don't
clinical.
need any substitutions.
Yep.
I agree
We
with
just
you.
need to be sharp.
More
Now,
clinical.
to be sharp, you get told to be sharp.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, because you had moments where the cheaper United goalkeeper for Nigeria was actually saving the
Not
goals.
really, yes.
So don't change anyone. Wait until the 60th minute, then load them up front. The goal, or else it could go to extra time, and they don't want to take us to penalties.
Yeah.
Guys, I love the podcast, but I have to go back to my wife.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Sinatemba.
Nice one, man. Nice one, man.
A big shout
So
out to
actually,
Sinatemba, man.
very good, clear point.
Valid, straight,
and
yeah.
I love what he's saying about you win the game when you don't have the ball.
Yeah.
And Hugo Bruce has set up this side so well for doing the job out of possession, and then in possession, the quality of the players is doing the work for you, right?
No, sorry, my friend. I just want to have the phone sit up straight. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, and
So-
Sinatemba was just saying exactly what we were saying, that we
Yes.
don't change anything, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe around the 60th minute, that's when you start making changes, you know.
There's nothing the manager can do to make you more clinical in the chances. He
I-
can't get on the pitch and put the ball in the back of the net himself.
Definitely.
So everything he's done tactically has given Bafana the best opportunity
I agree with
to
you
create chances, to score goals. He can't get on there and put it in the back of the net himself.
Yep.
So more of the same, boys, but be clinical.
I agree
when you
with
get
you
an
fully.
opportunity, bag it. Let's go through. Let's win this thing. Let's face Ivory Coast or the DRC. Let's take on the Super Eagles and let's win this tournament.
I agree with
And
you
more than
fully.
anything, Marco, I think the first half has been quite cut and dry. You know, even a 5-year-old can just tell that this is what needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Very
And
straightforward.
I saw a
think
comment from a bowler who's saying Pesitao will have that one moment of brilliant and he's going to change this game for us. I'm hoping that is the case.
I hope
because
so.
For a player of his magnitude, he's got so much potential, we know, and we know what he can do with the ball. I'm hoping this is the day where he just delivers us from this game.
So
Michael
as we
saying,
kick back off, sorry, Tsepi, the
Okay,
second
darling.
half where Now Bafana looking to hold possession further back and invite the pressure from Nigeria. But Nigeria just keeping their shape, very wary of what Bafana can
Has in
oppose
store.
on them.
Yes, of course.
Looking forward. And Percy Tau at least trying to get onto the ball and make the difference, which we like to see. So back to the comment from the baller, Tepi.
Yes, Witness. Someone saying that, I asked the question of who do we have to look out for when it comes to the Nigerian team. And, obviously it's a natural response for us to say that Osman is that guy to look out for. But, Abola saying that, but there's another man, we've spoken about Aina, who is also going to be a bit of a problem. I believe he's he's a right winger. Yes, a right winger from Nigeria, and his scoring is 6.7, so that's how his rating rather. I'm sitting at 6.7. Another chance for okay.
But again, very effective defending
Easy, yes.
from Bafana
And an easy clear, yeah.
But we don't like
Yes.
seeing balls into the box at all, Super Sub.
Yeah.
You don't like seeing those deliveries come in.
No, definitely.
It's great to see, and it's a good challenge from Kulu. But Nigeria able to recycle the ball a little bit too easily there. So they've come out with a bit more fire in the belly, it seems. But Bafana starts every half of football in this.
Mudau with a little
Mudau
bit
with
of
a
chip.
beautiful touch, looking like a number 9 rather than a fullback. And Super Sub thoughts, not much has changed. We see the same formation, like we said. We see no substitutions, like we said. More of the same, long balls for Makopa to try run onto. And Zwane and Percy Tau there to pick up the pieces from Makopa.
Yeah, and it looks like now Nigeria are going to try and sit back and try and get us on transition,
So,
Is it just me, or is this a different Nigeria than the Nigeria that played Angola?
we managed to contain this Nigeria.
you know what? Angola threatened perhaps twice in the entire fixture.
Yeah.
And Mudau's good defending nearly punishing him there. But Mokoena with the quality and the calm. And Percy Tau, you just hear groans every
Yeah,
time there's a
man.
problem from Percy Tau around us.
And that's why more than ever, I think it's going to do wonders for him if he was able to just redeem himself just a little bit. We need a moment of brilliance from him.
just to
more-
take
more
the
than
pressure
ever.
off,
Yeah.
because
there was a good
the amount of pressure he has on his shoulders at the moment
It's
from
immense.
himself more than anyone else.
It's immense.
Oh, wonderful
even
piece
from
of
the
play.
first match, let's go.
And one of these will go through, Super Sub. One of these balls will go through.
I agree.
Oh, definitely. We can't allow them to penetrate.
So, as we see Wobie back on the ball, he seems to be the general, the conductor, if you will, of the Nigerian side.
Yeah.
Everything they do sort of goes through him.
It is quite interesting that you're saying that Mwebu is actually the one who's the conductor, because I was expecting Igong to be that person for the Nigerian team right now.
Yeah, look,
I mean, yeah.
Iwobi has done the most.
Yep.
We see a lot of heart from Modiba, Mvala, Kulu, Kekana, Mudau, making it extremely difficult. And I think Morocco are going to complain again
by
about
the
this
way,
one,
I was
Super
about
Sub.
to say, why is he there?
Why is he there watching
He should
Bafana
be at his
Bafana?
hotel room watching.
Yeah, I don't understand what the Moroccans were trying to say. These North Africans, like Len was saying, they feel like football owes them something, and the moment they get knocked out of tournaments, they start creating like silly stories,
And again, Ronwin Williams calm, a great sense of calm across the whole Bafana side. More so than what we saw in the Cape Verde game, where there was almost an anxiety amongst the Bafana players.
So I don't like what is happening now, because now Nigerian is sitting back. We're starting to get frustrated, and
we
then
are
we're starting to
chasing.
play long balls.
Yep.
We need to keep to our game, and knock the ball around and penetrate them again,
So the first 10 minutes of either half for Bafana throughout the tournament, I would like to reiterate again, Bafana starts halves
very
of
slow.
football slowly, and here's the first time that Nigeria's
real
really got
opportunity,
in
but a beautiful
behind
clear.
the Bafana defense.
Yep.
But Kulu doing
doing his-
fantastically well once again. And he was a man who was in for a lot of criticism after his performance against Mali,
Yeah,
and then
no,
lost
definitely.
his place in the side. I mean, Nigeria was maybe expecting like, okay, here's a player who could be vulnerable,
Yeah.
and not at all.
Not at all. Look, he's a quality player, and again, in tournaments, first games are always challenging. You know, nerves are there. You know, you don't know what you expect from the opponent. You know, and I think that's what sort of got to Tulu in the first game.
So Mokoena almost expecting the free kick there, but now he's been able to run on.
Keeper literally leaving his box.
Well done to Onana. I mean,
See what you did there.
Nwabala,
It's to the
the
Chile
sweeper
boy.
keeper, who's keeping Mokoena out of that. But Nigeria have to be careful when they attack if they're going to leave that much space open behind. Oh, come on,
on.
referee. That's a soft one. But anyway, officiating in the game, the referee super sub, not letting anything go. Very strict.
Making sure it's
Very
very
strict.
stringent.
Very strict.
Clean officiating,
refereeing.
I must say.
And not letting anything silly really get by. He's not going to let a stupid penalty call go
Yes.
by.
But even considering, Marco, we did mention that, Nigeria as well as South Africa have been playing clean football throughout the tournament. So I don't think, they have really given the ref a run for his money. He hasn't had to make tough decisions thus far.
So 2 players on Victor Osimhen there in the corner, and he wins a corner kick.
Hey, that's where the
Yeah,
danger
second
is.
half we started
That's
shaky
where the
again like we
danger
did
is.
in the first half, and we need to go back to the structures, you know.
You
when
see
we lose the
Simon
ball, we
sitting
keep the
just
structure,
by
you
the
know.
post.
Maybe we're just waiting for our good luck omen, Uncle Len.
Yeah, you should
Uncle Moleko.
you should be here at any time from now.
Any minute now we're expecting Len Moleko to join us, ballers. Let us know in the comments how happy you are to see him.
And he better bring that hat. If
and
he does
he-
not have that hat on,
Then we're in trouble.
thank you.
Like I said once again, it's so difficult to make commentary
Beautiful, clear.
and comment on
Beautiful, clear
the
by
delivery into the
Mahoba.
box.
It's funny, as much as we don't have the advantage of height, but I see that we have been able to clear a lot of corners.
So we have seen a tactical change from Nigeria, and they're prepared to commit a lot more bodies forward to try and create the opportunities. And they're far more vulnerable. As Percy Tao's touch far better, and
but
perhaps
it's not
a
a-
50-50 challenge, but a better touch from Percy Tao. But Nigeria far more open at the back than they were in the first half. And in the transition, Bafana able to create a lot more.
And winning the midfield at the moment, you know.
Percy Tao. Another frustrating, and the goal kick is given, and Percy Tao, frustrated with the referee, feels like he's getting bullied a little bit. I mean, that's not a penalty. It's a 50-50 challenge, and he's between the man and the ball.
And obviously, physically, I mean, he is a bit inferior.
But I'd love to see a replay of the previous challenge outside of the box, where Percy Tao's frustrated with the referee for not defending and protecting him. He's a skillful player, and he's being manhandled a little bit.
Beautiful
And another
marking.
corner kick.
Beautiful defense.
And
Well done,
Nigeria-
man. Mudau came to
Nigeria
work.
actually need to be careful of this and the numbers that they commit forward to this corner kick, because Bafana have shown that they'll leave 2 players up the field for the counter attack.
There's the injured Masego.
Yeah, the man who suffered the injury in the last game against Cape Verde.
And with speed.
And the TV
Massive
crew
speed.
perhaps believing that this would maybe be the time to look at him coming into
Definitely.
the fray.
But
A very good delivery into the middle.
And again, it's Mohupa again back there.
Again,
defending,
Makupa there doing a defensive
work, you know.
job. And there we go, referee, no nonsense. Good
Mohupa
officiating.
really
so-
putting in
Love
a
it.
shift.
and
and I
that
must say,
frustration looking to grow once again in Nigeria. They came back stronger in the second half.
Which,
a
Slightly
bit more fire in the
stronger.
belly.
yes.
But I think that I would be concerned as a Nigeria fan right now with the amount of openness in the back for Bafana to exploit on the counter. And two
Okay, we see
substitutions
subs.
from the Nigeria
It's a
manager.
sign of panic, from Nigeria. You can tell that their formation is not working out, their strategies are not working out. They're trying to change things. I mean, it's the only 55 minutes played of football. You can see that they're battling to penetrate us in a way, so they have to make those changes.
Yes,
Ball
but
forward.
I mean, a sub is also a call for us to also somehow panic.
Well, certainly no panic from Bafana as yet. Modiba able to block that ball as Nigeria tried to break past the lines. And Ayana, I should say rather, looking for Lukman. And Osimhen looking for the moment of brilliance that we expect of him. But Mvala staying strong. And another opportunity for Osimhen. And that might motivate Nigeria a little bit. They've had a couple chances, perhaps not clear-cut ones, and he's being handled well by that back three of Bafana in Kekana and Kulu and Mvala, of course. But Osimhen showing his strength, showing why he's the main man in Napoli and in the Serie A, and why Chelsea are looking to put a big price tag on his head in the Premier League next season. And not showing much as yet.
And Marco, may I ask this question, considering also that he is at Napoli right now, and you've just mentioned that, there is a big price tag on his head, but will that also influence...
Mudau on the counter-attack as Percy Tau runs forward, but there's a lot of frustration here for Percy Tau. The ball is played behind him, however. Super sub, must he do better?
What do we make of this?
Mudau should be looking in front of Percy Tau there.
Yeah, it was a poor pass from Dao.
I think it was a poor pass from
Unfortunately,
Mudau.
Percy Tau has not been clinical in receiving the balls. So that one, I don't think it's entirely fair, But Mudau there gave him a poor pass.
But it is frustrating for Bafana as a whole, because that's a good opportunity to break.
It was a
as
good
Mudau
transition play.
did the good work in picking up the interception and breaking up the play and starting the transition, but the final ball lacking ever so slightly, and then the control from Percy Tau also can stand for some criticism. And there's an opportunity for Zwane to play Makgopa in. Temba Zwane showing his quality, and Percy Tau with the 1-2 play. And Modiba joining in the attack as we can expect, as we saw throughout the first half.
Our interplay is really, really good.
Really good. And we see Sitole joining, Mokwena joining, Modiba joining, Mudau joining. So, but we see again that line of four now across the Nigeria back line, which then turns to five. So definitely that back three continues, or a back five continues for Nigeria. And not much change in the tactics as yet.
But it's actually giving me a bit of a nostalgia of what Equatorial Guinea had done with us with defense. Literally having at least two rows of defense, and that's why we're not able to penetrate them.
Super sub, frustration from Osimhen. He's a player with a lot of expectation on his shoulders. 1 goal so far in the tournament.
Definitely, 1 goal so far in this tournament. That's so unlike Osimhen,
Exactly.
And when he's not getting into those spaces, and when he's not getting those clear chances, and when he's getting closed down so quickly, he will definitely get frustrated.
He was the bookmaker's favorite for Golden Boot,
Of course.
alongside Mohamed Salah before the tournament started. Certainly not looking like that will materialize for him. It hasn't materialized for Salah, of course.
And speaking of
For
materializing,
Sane as well, Sadio Mane rather.
Yes,
of
Sadio
course.
Mane as
And I
well.
mean, they're all out also, so that's not going to be... Well, it might still be a possibility. The question, Marco, is that, as much as Osimhen, like you've mentioned, that he's got, a lot of money or a price tag on his head right now, potentially moving to the Premier League, but would you say that his overall performance in AFCON might jeopardize his chances?
Certainly not. I don't think that he could be criticized for his performances in the tournament, and you can say the price tag is now lower for Osimhen. I think he's still going to be hot property.
Again.
Even though we've not seen much from him in this game. But Makgopa, the referee, once again, the strict rule of the referee in this game, that we see him not giving away free kicks easily. And that's some quality play from Nigeria. And a fair opportunity from Onyeka. But again, Nigeria forced to shoot from range. A mark of Bafana's. Yeah.
Of course, our defense is.
So a little bit of words there with the referee. Some frustration from the Bafana players. And poorly struck as he's under pressure from Mokoena. Taboko Mokoena today, super sub.
Doing his job very well. He has neutralized Iwobi a lot, because we've seen in the past that Iwobi is just that person that makes everything happen for Nigeria. He gets those balls, he distributes well, he wins the duels. Like, he is just the key maker in that midfield position. But today he hasn't been that clinical.
I agree.
Because
and
of Mokoena.
is quite creative, and it's as though Mokoena has put a blanket over his overall creativity in the midfield.
And for a man fairly short in stature compared to others on the pitch, the physicality element does not seem to have gotten to Mokoena. He's prepared to get physical and get involved, even though he's not the biggest man on the pitch. And again, you have to say the confidence from Bafana to play, and then Mokoena getting fouled there. And clever to go down as he feels the contact in his back.
And we have another sub.
And another sub. The two substitutions from Nigeria.
Chukwaze was in fact in the Angola match.
Well, that is an interesting change right there. So Lukman, number 18, he seems to be staying. Alex
Iwobi, how Mokoena did fairly a good job in neutralizing him.
And then
I think
we see the other change being that of Moses Simon, the player coming off as well, who has been dangerous in the tournament so far. Frustration from Nigeria and perhaps thinking let's change it strategically. Moses Simon and Iwobi, two key players for Nigeria previously in the tournament, being replaced.
No, definitely. I mean, if you look at Simon, he hasn't been effective, and we've seen in the past he's their transition target together with Lukman, and then those are the people that receive the ball first when Nigeria is transitioning, and they feed off to Osimeni. And it hasn't been happening because South Africa are doing so well in the midfield, they're enforcing the midfield, winning those duels, and actually keeping the position in the midfield.
I must commend Makopa once again for his performance in this game. Holding up ball, beautiful piece. Yaya Sitola has been a monster in this fixture.
No, definitely.
Well done, son.
Definitely.
And then they lose the ball.
So Themba Zwane looking to chase down the ball and make himself a nuisance and make it difficult for Nigeria. The fresher legs of Nigeria now seeming coming into play. We're at the 63rd minute. Penalty.
Can we also be
penalty? So Nigeria awarded a penalty by the referee for a foul on Victor Osimhen. The teammates congratulate him. Vala, the player who has fouled him.
Well, we still have Williams.
It seems like no sympathy for Victor Osimhen from. And as we have a look once again, and the referee, I don't think this will be overturned, super sub. I think that Nigeria will be given.
Be overturned. He aimed for Osimeni. He didn't play the ball and it's inside the box. It's not going to be overturned. It's a penalty.
I think it is a penalty.
We can only hope that Ronwen pulls his heroics.
Look, if anyone is facing a penalty in this tournament, Ronwen Williams has proven his capabilities. And Themba Zwane looking to put off the Nigeria captain as he steps up to take the penalty. Themba Zwane asked to leave the penalty area now by the referee. And we have to once again put your trust in William Troost Ekong. Has taken 2 penalties so far in the tournament. Both have been converted. No misses. And now attention again to Ronwen Williams, who's being directed by the goalkeeping coach who he attributed to in the guidance, saying that he's going to go to his left. As the singing breaks out here in Coffee, it's lovely to hear
It's crazy downstairs. It's
South
crazy
African fans
downstairs.
getting
South Africans
behind
behind the scene.
Bafana. And
By the way, Ekong plays for the Greece Super League.
so,
Another international player,
nervous
obviously,
moments
Nigeria.
as Ekong
Okay, let's
steps
go.
up for the first penalty of the game and for the clearest opportunity so far in the match, mostly for Nigeria. But
And if
the
he
best
scores this one,
opportunity
it's
to
going to
break
be
the
his second
deadlock
goal
as
in
he
the
steps
tournament.
up and he goes direct, straight down the middle. We did say Ronwin Williams is being told to go left from the defenders. And Nigeria break the deadlock and make it 1-0.
That gives us more of an opportunity now and actually pushes us to then make sure that we equalize.
Super sub.
Marco.
Heartbreak for Bafana.
Heartbreak for Bafana.
The
They've
better
done
side is
everything
now
right,
trailing.
Better side, and again, it's one of those games that boils down to mistakes, And
That's true.
Nigeria got the opportunity and they buried it, And unfortunately, we were not clinical enough in the first half, and those kind of situation comes back to haunt us,
I think the one positive you can, and as Mvala buries his head, he's the player who gives away. Mvala's the player who gave away the penalty, and he's the player most disappointed to see it converted.
Yeah, look, he's always
But
that
we
player.
also hope-
Unfortunately, being a central defender, he's always found making those mistakes.
course.
Against Mali, he was the one that gave up the penalty. Unfortunately, but. I think I don't think this game is done. I think there's still something that we can pull out
We
of
hope-
this
we
game.
hope that this will ignite
Nigeria now is
something.
going to sit back and try absorb pressure from us, but we need to be more clinical when those chances arises.
And I think the one positive that you can say, looking at the scoreline, because obviously, like I said, bitterly disappointing for Bafana, is that the goal has come in the 67th minute, which allows Bafana the opportunity to come back and ask questions, as Percy Tau takes a shot from range when there was perhaps better options on the field, but at least showing the intent to get back into this game quickly.
No, definitely. When you concede, that's when you need to push more. Your opposition at that time, they're still a little bit
They're still flying high.
flying
still
high,
excited
and this is
about,
the time to pounce,
Precisely. And normally what happens is that, when an equalization really happens the next 5 minutes of your opponent scoring. So I understand what you were saying, that he wanted to just get things into gear very quickly.
So Nigeria have made their 2 changes. A poor goal kick from the goalkeeper is praised by Victor Osimhen, trying to keep the spirits of the team up. But you might see a few nerves pop in if Bafana are able to apply the pressure.
Definitely, and this is the time for changes now. We're under pressure now to be more creative. And I think a player like Pesitao, I think he has been given enough time, and is not being clinical.
He's not
I think it's time for us to sub him, bring a player like Mayambela, and see what he can provide.
Or Morena, of course.
Oh, you're a
another
fan
option.
of Morena, and he's always my umbrella. It's
So
going to
I
be quite
think
interesting
that
to see what Hugo Broos
both
decides.
offer a direct play and pace that can really change this fixture. I'm losing my ability to speak, honestly. It's a difficult
lot.
moment to take. I'm
It's a
still
lot.
trying to
It's a lot.
process the penalty in a game that Bafana have been so
and
dominant
after this
in.
and
And that's
after
another
this
silly
goal,
free
it's like,
kick.
oh, come on,
And
guys.
Nigeria's game is getting almost a little
It's
bit
opening
nasty,
up.
playing the dark arts of the football game well.
Their tails are a little bit up now.
Yes.
Of course.
And after winning the penalty,
He
Bafana
actually took the
won
ball.
a game against Morocco that Morocco were the dominant team. And Bafana showed heart and spirit to come back and win that one. Bafana were, Cape Verde were the dominant team rather against Bafana. And Bafana showed some spirit to come back and won that one. This time, Bafana need to show some spirit to come back when they've been the dominant team.
Definitely,
And
which
not
is even
convert to
harder.
this one. So, which is even harder to take, and it's easy to see the spirit lose. are Bafana currently regretting those opportunities missed in the first
should
half?
be. regretting all
Definitely,
these
definitely, Marco.
opportunities,
And we know in tournaments, like Magava was saying earlier, in tournaments, if you don't bury those chances, you tend to regret later on, and that's been the case. Again, if it's the evidence, Mokhupa being our defensive a player there in aerial balls, he has done so well in those aerial balls. Again,
And once again,
Yes,
Makopa
right.
from
Yeah.
set pieces, etc., when he does go back and help the defense, is an absolute monster at getting his head to the ball. And, I'd hate to make a comparison to a Wout Weghorst, who...
Let's talk stats.
Eric Ten Hag. Okay, let's talk stats. Bafana still shaving
Dominating,
the
obviously.
possession
Yep.
with 57% of the possession of the ball. And I think it's easy to see Bafana have been the dominant team in this
course.
game.
definitely.
A penalty,
But I mean, we've had
a
this
silly mistake,
of course.
gives you the only stat that matters, and that's the one on the top left of your television screen.
Indeed,
I
Marco,
agree with
and
you,
we've had
Marco.
this conversation about position does not necessarily translate to, coming out victorious. And I mean, we might have, like you've mentioned, might have shaved off, a bit of position, but how will that then translate into us going into the finals?
And Super Sub, you said as the penalty was converted that Nigeria will sit deep, try and absorb the pressure from Bafana,
Yeah.
and it's actually freed them up a little bit to play their game that we were
You
talking
see?
about in transition.
And this
So
is
the
what is
game
happening.
is really playing into the hands of Nigeria now.
It's starting
They
to
know that
roll back
Bafana
to
need to
them.
push. They're sitting even deeper, allowing Bafana to push, which gives them the opportunity to have the overlap
hand.
Yes.
and the I'm trying to think of the word, but in transition, having the higher volume of players
No,
in
definitely.
the transition.
I agree with you fully there, Marco, because now all they need to do is just sit back. They know we're going to make those little mistakes when we are passing around the ball, because we like short passes. They intercept and they transition, and that's their game plan. It has been their game plan from the start. The difference is that back there in the first half, we were not allowing them space in the midfield, and right now it feels like we are opened up,
Tepi, how's it looking in the comments there, darling? The energy is low, but hopefully Bafana can turn around. We see two changes being
Exactly what we
prepared.
were talking, Mayambela and Lepasa coming on.
Who you expecting to leave the pitch for Lepasa? Perhaps Zwane and Tau?
I'm thinking Mahupa and Tau.
Has Temba Zwane got the legs to continue in this fixture?
Look, later on, maybe, there's still, is it Mashiho who can still come on for Temba Zwane, you see?
So we will see the changes being made shortly as...
Most ballers actually are also, agreeing with you, Marco, when they say that Morena, it's time for him to then get onto the pitch. Obviously, ballers disheartened right now. A 1-0 against Nigeria may be
But-
detrimental just to us going into the finals. But I mean, everyone really is just heartbroken. I mean, there's nothing much we can say about what's happening right now.
I wouldn't even also be surprised if he sacrificed Tulu. Because what
You
you have to
think-
lose
Also
now.
true is because tactically the game must change.
Yes.
So perhaps sacrificing Kulu and going back to the formation of
The
previous
previous one,
fixtures.
yes.
Yeah.
Makopa and Kulu, Zwane and Kulu,
Yeah.
Tau and Kulu
Yeah.
could be a possibility.
Yeah, let's see.
So we will see. Yes, that stifling, interchanging, enterprising Bafana we saw in the first half now has to create more going forward. So Nigeria prepared to sit back, and perhaps it is the opportunity to replace Kulu, and that's a very good point, Super Sub. Great play from Temba Zwane. Oh, wonderful play. Oh! And the best opportunity of the game for Bafana Bafana as Makopa coming within inches of equalizing as the guest of honor, Mr. Len Moleko joins us. Len Moleko, welcome.
Where's the hat? Lemoguleko?
Len Moleko, welcome to Onside ZA, brought to you by Betway, where you get
Way
way more.
more.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man.
A terrific
Good to be
performance from Bafana, but they found themselves 1-0 down against Nigeria.
Yeah,
Marco?
the penalty conceded
As you can
by
see, Kulu, as he's mentioned,
penalty conceded by Mvala.
It was definitely
again.
Kulu.
I was
yes, you
listening
were,
to the
you were
commentary
actually
on
correct.
radio on my way here.
Super
But
Sub.
from what I heard, the second half was a much better showing.
Kulu and Zwane.
Super
Kulu
sub,
and Zwane.
Kulu
What
and
did I say about
Zwane, as you
Lepasa?
alluded to exactly.
course, yep.
I think that it is a astute, smart tactical move from
Yeah.
Hugo Bruce that you picked up before the game even kicked back off.
Yes, but let's also just give props to Kulu as well as Makopa for an excellent first half and just really making sure that they push the boys forward. In fact, I feel like Makopa has been quite instrumental.
Absolutely, and he's just had the best
And just his height
opportunity
has
for
also
Bafana
been a
Bafana
great
of the game
advantage
that
to
we've
us.
just seen. So.
Well, there was that one. I think there was one earlier, in the first half, where he just had to pick a spot, put some power on the ball.
And it was saved
And it
because
was
he
saved,
didn't place
yes.
it quite.
And
quite
Pessi
much.
as well had an opportunity where the ball literally did not have any power on it. And unfortunately, there was a couple of chances that we really did not take in the
Yes.
first half.
We alluded to this earlier in saying that Bafana guilty of not being clinical enough in the first half and now suffering for those missed chances. But a live wire in Lepasa and a player we haven't spoken about just yet, Super Sub. Lepasa, a live wire coming on, and Nigeria have something new to deal with as Lepasa joins the fray.
Look, Lepasa, a speedy player. We spoke about him in the previous game. You need that variation now. Where things are now, look, we either going to lose 3-0, it doesn't matter. Or throw everything but the kitchen sink and see what you're actually going to get out of it. And I feel that's a position that we are in right now. You don't have to sit back and try be very guarding. Just go for it.
But what do we say also? I mean, as much as we applaud also Mvala, but he might also potentially be the reasons why we considered this goal here. This penalty in this case.
Len?
Look,
What do we say?
look, I think where we are now, we're roughly counting about 13 minutes, right? The game is not over. If anything, it's Nigeria who's panicking because they're trying to protect this lead. So, like I said, I'm going to go back to saying, go for it. Make sure that you don't make the tackles that you were making in the box, because that's what actually got us undone, if I can put it like that. As we can see now,
Surely it's a free kick, yes. And
With
this
the
time the
physicality.
referee giving the free kick to Bafana in a dangerous area. Bafana will have chances between now and 90 minutes.
Of course.
The question will be, will they be clinical enough and take those opportunities?
look, they missed their chance of being clinical in the first half.
Yes.
But now, if you've got the likes of Lepasa coming on,
Yes.
he hasn't really had a run, if I can put it like that.
True.
Whereby he's actually able to show what he's made of. So this is actually a very good opportunity for him to say, I'm here, I want to be counted. He must channel that inner Lepasa that he had at the start of the season when he was scoring like it's going out of fashion.
True.
As Percy Tau stands dominant over this free kick, an opportunity for him to put in a good ball. There's two players on this pitch right now that need some redemption. It's Percy Tau and Mvala. As he delivers in the ball, it's a bit too close to the goalkeeper who's able to deal with it. And Nigeria tried to counter-attack, but not effective in it.
But then again, that's
We see a bit of play acting, I would assume.
A lot
and
of it,
say
more
that
than ever.
this is
Yeah.
time wasting. This is the professional side of the game that we don't really like to see.
stomach
as-
cramps are trending for Nigerians. I saw in the beginning of the game,
What was happening?
Osimhen was on the floor holding his stomach. Nwabali is doing the same thing.
I must suspect that there's nothing in this. As you see, the contact with him is so minimal. Oh,
Because
goodness.
he took a while to react.
Oh, goodness.
There was
Okay.
It took a while to react.
Look, we're not professional commentators. It is a fan show in many ways. I'll tell you what I will say. Nonsense. Play acting. Come on.
And again, look, I think it's him taking advantage of the fact that Mvala was
Yes.
cited for a foul in his box, and that's obviously how the penalty came about.
Yes.
So a repeat offender is more likely to be looked at as, oh yeah, but like
But
he's done it
yeah,
again.
There we go.
Let's go to him and award this free
And
kick.
that's when he needs
Clear
to then tread
case
very
of time
carefully.
wasting. He waited for danger to be away before going to the ground. and then play acting. Clear case of time wasting. Clear issue from the Nigeria side where they can see Bafana getting into their groove. They want to disrupt that
Of course.
and break up the play. It doesn't matter if this is added time later into the fixture. They just want to disrupt the play and waste as much
Because
time as they can.
if I'm looking at their tactics, it's come at us, we'll just find a young.
That's what I was saying.
what do you
After the
call
goal, they're gonna sit back and try
Yeah,
and
sit back
absorb
and
all
find the counter.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. And what I noticed was there was actually a lot of South African players in the Nigerian half when when that free kick was taken, and had the ball not gone outside, I think we were gonna find ourselves in the back foot, and because of the speed they have, they might have actually caught us on a counter that was gonna be very tricky.
So another counter that I present to you, Len Moleko, is that if Bafana are to go to a third place playoff fixture,
Yes.
obviously we'll be bitterly disappointed.
Yep.
But what level of pride will South Africa carry for this Bafana side, who have gone beyond what was expected of them and then performed as well as they have in this fixture?
Yes.
We obviously hope for a turnaround here in the result, but the performance has to be celebrated. I mean, Mudau once again excellent.
He's been-
and able. And Mudau is fouled, and should that not be a yellow card as he's disrupting? Their discussions with the referee saying, "Please, no yellow card. It's my first offence," but that is perhaps a yellow card offence. Perhaps the second player covering has saved Victor Osimhen from getting booked there. But a yellow card at this stage for an attacking player doesn't mean much.
It doesn't mean much. The game is nearing its end. And just to answer you, Marco, from your earlier question, I think we should take lots of pride. Considering this was the first time in 24 years that we get to a semi-final of an AFCON. The first time in 24 years that there's any level of hope that comes from a Bafana side, because they have been the ugly stepchild of South African sport for the longest time. And for
indeed.
them to get to where they got to, I think they
Yeah.
really deserve. They
All
really
the
deserve
praise.
our support. They deserve our praise.
And I think also, sorry for interrupting, Len, and I also like how, they under-promised, but they over-delivered. Does that
Pretty
make
much,
sense?
pretty much.
Yes.
When
So
they
they
came here-
managed expectations.
When they came to the tournament,
Yes.
nobody gave them a chance.
Precisely.
It didn't help. They started the tournament with a defeat. And from then on, people were actually writing them off. And some
Ronwin
That's
Williams
a
with a terrific
save.
save. And I
Lovely
think that
save by
Adamala
Ronwin.
Lukman here is the favourite and Ronwin Williams just wants Bafana to win this game. He's suffering some pain, he's suffering with injury, and he distributes the ball and says, "Come on boys, go forward, let's go and get that goal." And Bafana have been committing players forward and they've left themselves vulnerable at the back.
and that's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Yes. And as you alluded to, Super Sub, and as you alluded to, Len Moleko, lose 3-0, but go for it.
Yes, go for it, definitely. And as we look at it now, how important do you think, come end of the game, if end of the game comes and this game ends, that save is going to be?
I think
But then
if you
can we
look at
also-
history and you
Yes.
look at hope and you look at moments of magic, and Ronwood Williams is the reason that Bafana got to extra time in the previous fixture against Cape Verde, and we're hoping that Ronwood Williams is the reason
We
that
need to be very
Bafana
careful
get
of
to extra
Chukwueze.
time once
I
again.
think the introduction
And
of
once
Chukwueze
again,
has been
He'll
quite...
be asked to save once again, and Victor Osimhen
Once
scores.
again, you saw the legs were gone. Nobody really covering. At that
No,
point,
this is
you
it,
could see
guys.
that counter
This is
was
it.
going to result in exactly what we spoke about.
And we see the decision going to VAR to see if the goal will be allowed. It is currently 2-0, but if VAR overturns this, there will still be very little time left for Bafana to
But
turn
it is
this
possible
fixture
because
around.
we tend to also have, statistically, the last 10 minutes of the match, it seems as though we get rejuvenated. So I'm hoping that might also be the case here. If this goal is disallowed, we might be able to equalize.
And
So does it start
it's a
there
big if.
outside the box?
yes, so
Where
that's
the question is going to be
yes.
asked.
So that'll be the first question that is asked. And if that is given as a free kick, this goal will be disallowed. And he's onside because he's level with the play. So I don't believe, I mean, perhaps maybe a slight chance of offside, but I don't believe so. It looked like he was level with the play.
So the offside, I don't think will be given. If anything, if the other foul from the box.
From the box. And that seems to be what the players are appealing and saying that Percy Tau was fouled on the other side of the pitch. If that is given, if VAR does intervene and give a free kick, and he's being asked to go to the thing, and come on, because if a free kick is given, that is Tebogo Mokoena territory, and Bafana can turn this around. Penalty! Penalty, come on!
So that is
a penalty. And I believe, and I hope that Bafana get this, and they will get what they deserve if they're able to turn this game around. And this will be no more than what Bafana deserve in this fixture. It is a foul outside. It is not the ball. It is the player who is played, and that is inside the box.
And that players play. It looks like a penalty.
It looks like a penalty.
Well, what are your
and that
thoughts
looks.
Is this
and
a
please,
penalty?
referee, turn this around for the hopes of Bafana, for the hopes of South Africa. And you can hear the noise. Yes!
That is a penalty.
Yes! Come on, Bafana! Come on, Bafana!
From a goal to a goal.
From a goal to a penalty. And
that
nothing like this has happened in AFCON history.
This has not happened
in recent memory. And this is Bafana's chance to take it to extra time. This is how we go through. Come on, Bafana. We must score this. And well done, Percy Tau. And I believe now. And we have to believe as a country.
But who takes the penalty? I think that's going to be very key.
I believe that Percy Tau will take the penalty. He has been given the opportunity to take the penalty every time.
The ballers are going wild here.
The crowd is going absolutely wild. The energy is electric right now.
Who do you give the penalty to? Mokoena, or you give it to Percy?
I would want Tebogo Mokoena to step up and take this. He's a calm head, but I believe that Percy Tau will be stepping up with the ball in his hands.
Well, let's look now, because this
Would this be a moment
Vale is
for
another
Percy?
cool head
when it comes to penalty.
Would you say that this might be that moment of brilliance for Percy if he was to take this one?
No, I think the moment of brilliance was the save that was made by Williams, and I did ask, how important is that going to be come the 90 minutes?
Yes, you did. And Len Moleko, your 2024 has been terrific, and it is Tebogo Mokoena stepping up to take the penalty.
And I like the brotherhood with Lepasa going to him.
And as we see MacG getting excited, Tebogo Mokoena, super sub, can't watch. Tepi Worldwide can't hold her microphone.
Tepi can't talk.
She can't talk.
Oh, it's hectic here at Coffee, guys.
This is a nail-biting finish to the best AFCON in memory. The best AFCON tournament in memory.
And a goalkeeper who many have said many things about, but a player who's very good when it comes to sport kicks.
And Tebogo Mokoena has been a hero earlier in the tournament. We think back to Morocco, where he scored a brilliant free kick and got Amrabat sent off for that fixture. As he steps up, Tebogo Mokoena against Nigeria with the hopes of South Africa on his back, steps up and scores! And it is 1-1 in Ivory Coast. Bafana are taking this to extra time. Unbelievable. And as they celebrate, another Cristiano Ronaldo celebration. And there is no less than Moleko than what Bafana deserved. It is no less than what Bafana deserved today. And what a tournament it has been for Bafana.
Once again, without looking at it, we have been saved by Ronwen Williams, an unsung hero.
Absolutely, and he's the player in the frame for a reason.
Now we're going to need a level of concentration. We need to go back to the basis and remain compact.
That is all we need to do.
And
the
just
contribution
also look at
all over the pitch.
Also have a look at just how beautifully this penalty was taken.
The contribution from all over the pitch for Bafana players has been immense. Tebogo Mokoena, Themba Zwane, Makopa, Mudau, Mvala, Kekana, Modiba, and Yaya Sitole.
Yes.
And Ronwin Williams cannot be understated. This
Definitely
team
cannot be.
is a team. This is a group that wants to achieve something
The
at
Warrior.
this tournament.
When I was talking earlier on about a group of players who went there to fight, that warrior spirit that has never been there in such a long time. It seems like it has made a turn and it's come back.
And
So
I can't help but think that I should take some responsibility for this, because I did place on my Betway bets that this would be a draw and go to extra time. So I must take some responsibility.
You are forgiven. You are forgiven.
If you do think that Bafana will progress after that penalty, place your bets on the Betway app. You can stand a chance to win an additional 25,000 Rand with Betway.
Get way more.
What I'm looking at now is, are the heads of Nigeria gonna go down? Is momentum coming to us? How do we approach the last couple of minutes that are left?
It's good. You know what, Len Moleko, considering also that the moment that Nigeria scored their goal, you started to see the confidence also taken up. So I'm expecting Bafana to take advantage of also just how dreary Nigeria just might be. And mind you, considering that we are also a better team in this encounter, Bafana, I'm expecting them to just come in with another goal and let's just close this thing. Can we not go into extra time?
I didn't even get to greet Super Sub. He looks so nervous.
I can't hear you guys. You know, the level of noise here, because we are excited, it's so difficult to hear you guys.
With 6 minutes of added time, we kick back off in the Ivory Coast. And this is a time for sure heads. It's absolutely a time for sure heads. As Makopa is still on the pitch and a target for Bafana to be playing those long balls.
Because at this point, you ask yourself, do you see the game out?
And Yaya Sitole on possession again. And he looks to play a long ball. And Bafana are in here in the final minutes of this semi-final. And a great delivery into the box. And an opportunity for Bafana to win it at the end of this AFCON semi-final. What a game it has been. And another opportunity. And Bafana are not resting on their laurels.
That is what
they want to lock this up here and now.
That is what Mokopa can offer you. Super Sub was saying the other day, he's showing, or was it Tepi? I can't remember. He is showing the faith that Coach Hugo Bruce, the faith that Coach Hugo Bruce has had in him when everybody pretty much wrote him off.
Hugo Bruce had,
Have you seen his defensive prowess when we are under attack on set pieces?
It cannot be understated.
I mean, he has won more aerial balls than our defenders.
I would love to see the stats for the number of defensive headers that Makopa makes. And Percy Tau is looking invigorated once again.
And by the way, extra time, 6 minutes added.
6 minutes of added time, yes, absolutely right.
Added time.
And we have 3 minutes left. And I'll tell you what, I don't even mind losing on Betway if Bafana go through right now.
You did say that it's going to be a very close one, most likely to be a 1-1 at the end of 90.
I did say there wouldn't be stacks of goals in this. But Bafana looking the more likely to finish this game off. And Muda with a beautiful piece of skill. And he cuts it across.
Opportunity. There was a level of miscommunication there.
There's a miscommunication. And another opportunity for Bafana. And Bafana want to clear this up right now. Taboko Mokwena to Yaya Sitole. And there is a free kick in Mokwena territory. A foul by Adamola Lookman.
Hey, Lookman must be very worried after what he did there.
He's pulled the shirt.
It was very silly. But what a run from Mudau.
This is a great opportunity.
What a clever play.
Now getting in the way of his own player. Oh my goodness.
What was Modiba doing?
What is worrying me now is everybody's trying to be a hero. So you end up finding people in spaces that they're not supposed to be in.
What I love to see there is Mvala getting on the young Lapas's shoulder and saying, don't worry about it, young lad.
Yes, but even so, Len, I mean, everyone wants to be a hero, but at this point, you take any opportunity that is afforded to you.
Teamwork.
So now, if there's anyone in the tournament you want standing over this free kick, it is the man standing over this free kick right now. Tebogo Mokoena
But also-
scored from a very similar area against
He's
Morocco.
definitely the guy to take that penalty.
Aubrey
He can hit
Mudiba-
it with venom. He can keep it low, and he's the right man for the free kick.
Aubrey Mudiba is also not bad when it comes to long range kicks.
What's that?
Aubrey Mudiba.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So there is the matter of Mokoena. There is the matter of Mudiba. Is it direction or is it power? So between one of them,
And they are both standing
and
over
they are
the free
both
kick
standing
right
over
now.
the free kick.
I think Tebogo Mokoena will take the first opportunity. It's a strike on goal. And Mushal in the last minute misses an opportunity to close the game, and Tebogo Mokoena holds his head high and looks to the heavens and asks himself
Capello Morena.
how Bafana are not in the AFCON final, and this
Almost.
looks more and more like it will
seeing
go
Coach Hugo
to
Broos
extra time.
completely just losing that excitement.
And Bafana, as much as we're disappointed with this moment, have shown some terrific spirit. And as the crowd applauds here at Coffee in Midrand, there's been an absolute pride to Bafana. And Percy Tau, a man who perhaps should leave the field of play
I think
for
so
extra
too.
time.
That's my sentiment too. I think he's done. What a tackle. The legs for the Nigerians, you can see they're starting to wear off. They don't have that sting that they had.
And it was
And
also
looks like
quite
one
smart.
final opportunity.
I mean,
Ayana
Nigeria, because
to
of
cross
how
into the box towards Victor Osimhen. It has gone long. I believe the referee is likely to
That
Victor
could be
Osimhen
offside.
with a chance. He plays it centrally to Ademola Lookman.
That's over the bar.
Who's shot over the bar.
Over the
That's
bar.
probably a last
my
shot for
apologies,
the
that was not
90.
Lookman. It was Chukwueze.
Most probably.
Chukwueze with the last
The frustration
shot.
is kicking in, as you can see.
Once
And,
again,
And
We
that
are
is
going to
exactly
extra
where we
time.
want them to be.
I'm sorry, I don't take Jaeger. I'm thinking Jaeger only, please.
And we are going to extra time.
We are going to extra time. Len Moleko, how are
And
you feeling?
I love the teammate on some. Yes,
boy.
we saw you missed the ball. It's fine.
It's fine.
Let's keep going again. It's not the end of the world.
MacG, please come
We
take us.
can we can go for this again.
Like Kika,
Yes, sir.
what is Bafana doing to us, man? This should be a goal, dog.
And
We
that
should
would
have
been the
buried
last
that
kick
one,
of the
eh?
goal.
Oh, my goodness.
The last kick of the game, that was most probably going to be it. But for them to go down, a goal down, and for them to, in the closing minutes of the game, actually get that goal and push the way they did, we surely have to give them some credit.
My issue was that I didn't think overall Nigeria deserved to win.
Yes.
I played them,
Yes.
so it was very painful.
And all the chances that we missed in the first half.
Exactly.
There should have been 2 or 3 that were supposed to be
Yes,
scored,
yes, yes.
but those obviously did not come to fruition.
Yo,
but we
man.
keep going. I think their spirits and tactically, I think they look very disjointed. They were hoping they were going to play on the notion of we scored a goal, we're going to sit back and catch them on the counter.
And now
Unfortunately, it's not like that now.
And what's going to happen now is we're probably going to get 2 chances in extra time, and we need to bury them.
That's it.
We need to bury them.
As soon as possible. But one thing though that worries me is that I feel Percy Tau should not be part of the team in the second half.
But you know what
No.
Hugo Broos is gonna do right now, because we need to now to stabilize the midfield. He's gonna sort of like maybe sacrifice Tau and put Munare on.
Monare still needs to come on because he's also that kind of player that gives you solidity in the midfield.
Fuck, what a game.
What a
But,
game.
What a
My
game.
sentiments
What
exactly.
a AFCON.
Yes.
What a tournament and what a fitting fixture.
Yes.
And so far the fixture of the tournament.
I think this game, hence there was so much talk about it ahead of it. It's lived up to expectations, and you cannot fault this game for anything.
We were actually saying earlier that this is basically
Hey.
the game of the tournament.
Guys,
Yes.
and don't forget, before our penalty, our keeper made a very crucial save there.
And Len
I
Moleko
actually
alluded to
mentioned
that.
that save is actually what's going to take us to extra time.
yeah.
And Ronwin Williams is the second time in as many games that he's responsible for Bafana going through to extra time.
The save he made against Cape
Cape
Verde, subsequently the penalties.
I'd replace Onana with Williams any day.
We had the conversation on the
Any
show
day.
yesterday. But tonight is not about Manchester United.
Fucking hell.
Like, yeah.
no.
You are Ivory Coast. You are.
No, but wait, Marco. You can see Nigerians have other ideas. Because apart from the penalty, they didn't do anything in second half. The other ideas, we got to keep pressuring. We'll get at least 2-3 chances. We got to bury them.
Well, I think Nigeria set up with the idea after scoring their goal of not allowing Bafana to score at all. And when that game plan didn't work, it is now the first opportunity for them to really adjust, to really rethink how they're going to approach this fixture. But Bafana have been dominant in this fixture besides the first 10 minutes of the first half and the first 10 minutes of the second half. Bafana have been extremely dominant.
The interesting thing as well.
Love you guys, man. Tepi, come sit you live again.
As we can hear that MacG is losing his voice.
Of course.
About to lose his mind because of this match. But just generally, it's generally what I'm seeing now is we've played a second half. We've played an extra time match. Mentally, we know how to prep for that. We've gone through those trenches. Nigeria have finished most of their games
In the 90
minutes.
Of course.
So this is going to be very testing for them, and to see how they're going to apply themselves playing extra time, having not played extra time in this tournament.
And even so, you would remember that Nigeria did their first 2 subs in a good 55th
In the
minute.
53rd minute, yes.
There we go. So that also means that we have fresher legs, you see.
So extra time allows you for an additional substitution.
Yes.
So you're allowed to make the 5 substitutes in the first.
And how many does Nigeria have remaining? They had 2 subs go in.
Unless I missed some,
Yeah.
it was only those 2 substitutions.
Let me check the stats.
I know Iobi was subbed.
Yes.
Yes.
Along with Simon Moses.
With Moses.
Simon, yes.
yes.
And
My apologies. So that was the first double switch of the
Okay,
fixture.
let me double check for you guys.
And Bafana subsequently made their own double change.
Yeah.
There was a change that brought in
Lepasa
Lepasa and
Tapelo Morena.
Yes.
Yes.
And
But so far so good. Not long into extra time. Is it a case of Nigeria now trying to push this game to penalties and hoping that
So Nigeria did have
they will
only
have
2
one
subs, Iwobi
over
as well
Ronald
as
Williams?
Simon, nothing else.
Silly free kick, methinks.
yeah, so Mvala should be playing that quite a bit deeper as Ademola Lookman looks to run onto this. But an absolute warrior in Ronald Williams is reading the danger and finds his way
No, it was
out
not
there.
Morena, it was Mayambela.
Mayambela.
Yes.
Sorry.
Morena is still an option to come on.
Of course.
Perhaps for Percy Tau, who's been less effective than you would have liked. Although I'm quite proud to say that Percy Tau can hold his head high, at least winning that penalty for
True.
Bafana.
Yeah.
And Mudau has been
Mudau
an
has
absolute
been
warrior.
solid.
He's been fantastic. And there's an opportunity for Bafana for Lepasa, who's running on. And he's forced wide by some terrific defending. And Lepasa is now fighting for the ball.
for it.
But is well defended.
But he was
It's fair to say.
overpowered.
He's bullied off the ball, really.
He got bullied off the ball, definitely.
Uh-huh.
So that's why we couldn't see much from him there. But those kind of chances, Nigeria are going to try coming at us. But if we have the speed,
And he has an opportunity for Ademola Lookman, who's on the left wing of Nigeria, has a shot. Ronwin Williams makes another fantastic save. And the save, what's very important about that save, Len Moleko, is that the ball is pushed far out of the danger
yes,
area.
it doesn't ricochet back
Yes.
where it's going to become a second danger ball.
But
like
as
we
you
saw
can
with
see,
the,
once again, the
with
Nigerian
the free kick from
keeper once
Mokoena
again.
that
Yes.
unfortunately got missed.
Absolutely. We are 2.5 minutes into the first half of extra time in the Ivory Coast. And it is certainly the most dramatic moment of the tournament so far. Is an overruled goal for Victor Osimhen,
Yep.
cancelled out by VAR. Let's
to give a
be honest,
penalty.
correctly. Once again, another terrific decision by VAR at this tournament.
Yes.
The officiating, top notch, and this is not as a South African or as a Bafana fan,
a football
but as
fan.
a football fan.
Yeah, and if there was ever a reason to downplay how spectacular AFCON is, then this is one of them.
Absolutely. And we see the ball distributed around. Bafana looking confident on the ball. A ball
Which is-
now wide to
more of what we need to have.
Mayombela and Tebogo Mokoena with the shot from range. He tries to get around it, but he's not able to wrap his foot around it completely.
Look,
Bafana continue to look dominant in extra time.
more of the same, outside the box. Give Tebza the ball. He knows how to pull the trigger. He doesn't only do it with dead ball situations. He can even do it in play. So what a save. I actually
that is-
underestimated that
That
save.
is a better save
That's a terrific
than
save.
it initially looked.
Yes.
It is a terrific save from Ronwin Williams. And if there is a goalkeeper to win a golden glove at this tournament,
No,
it
definitely.
certainly should be him.
His
He's
coordination.
definitely up there. He has raised his hand.
I agree.
Literally.
He's raised two.
Literally, yeah. His hand and eye
But
coordination
as
is
it stands, the legs are
excellent.
gonna go. As you can see,
Victor
Osimhen
Osimhen again
playing
to
on
the
the
ground.
floor. And Nigeria they should be kicking themselves in the foot now, because the minute they scored the goal and it became the 80th minute, they started playing tricks. They started rolling on the floor, thinking they're killing the South African momentum, but that was not the case.
This is when you appreciate how football can be an equalizer sometimes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And now an opportunity for Nigeria. Bafana holding a high line, but a very straight line, looking to play the offside trap. If any Nigerians move early, they will be offside. It goes to the back post, and guess who's there
Who
once
else?
again?
Who else?
Other than Evidence Makopa.
Crossfield. That could be
And the
a
long
very
ball
good pass.
upfield collected.
The first touch was not the best, but we still have possession.
Lepasa now on the ball on the left wing.
What I'm
As we
seeing
see,
now- what I'm
Yaya
seeing now-
Sitole once again, it's joining the attack.
It does look like Nigeria is disjointed, eh?
They
True.
disjointed because what they were playing for is not exactly what they're getting now. The personnel they have on the field cannot necessarily. They are hoping they carry them to the 120 minutes, but as it
Sitole
looks,
to Makopa.
they are in 6s and 7s, as it were in football.
My apologies.
Osimhen, the
I was
Lone
saying-
Ranger, as it was in the second half after they scored the goal. Everybody, 9 players behind the ball, and you've got Osimhen as the lone person who they're hoping that if we retrieve the ball, then we're going to pass it to him and we can try catch South Africa on
There
the
we go.
counter.
But the thing
Tebogo
about Osimhen also is
Mokoena
that
calm
he
in
tends to find
midfield.
himself at the right place at the right
Bafana
time.
looking to-
so it's quite dangerous also, even allowing that to even happen.
But the keeping of the possession, knowing that if the time moves, we run your legs down, we can actually try find a way to hurt you. As you can see, we're trying to find the wings to make something happen.
Nigeria defending deep once again. A strategy which might play.
Show me your number.
Yeah. And this is where the danger is for Bafana as they press. Victor Osimhen running at goal, but it's
As I said,
terrific
that's
tackle.
classic.
And Bafana showing their quality on both
And
sides of the
he
pitch.
looks very frustrated.
He is frustrated.
We
Victor
were saying
Osimhen looks
earlier, Len, the
terrifically
reason for his
frustrated.
frustration
Yep.
because he's not getting those balls, because he usually feed off from the front to that place in
course.
front of the midfielders.
Yes.
He's not getting those balls, and as a result, he's getting frustrated, and he's not.
As they look to find Lepasa with the ball over the top.
The one thing I like about Lepasa is it's not like he's 5-6 shots at goal. What he's doing well though is he makes himself a nuisance for defenders of the opposition. And that's what we're currently seeing with him now. As we see Osimhen, it's as if he has no ideas. And he's so isolated as well because South Africa has the majority of the possession. And as such, we are always in the Nigeria half. And he's the Lone Ranger standing in the center of the field, hoping for a pass to come
have
to
two
him.
more subs.
And unfortunately, it does not happen as frequently as he wants it to happen.
As we see another double change prepared by
Yeah, and
Nigeria.
obviously, he's throwing everything that he has on this bench.
course.
You know, Inacho, another attacking player.
Look, man, is he the one going out? Sorry.
Ademola Lookman, who has been Nigeria's player of the tournament so far, the cameras seem to be focusing on him. He might be one of the players to get the boot from the Nigerian coach.
But as we've seen, this tournament has not necessarily been a tournament of superstars. it's been a tournament of team play.
True.
And that's how many of the teams that are here actually got here. The DRCs
Individual
of this
greatness,
world,
yes.
the out of all the superstars that were on all the posters prior to the tournament, you can argue that it's only Victor Osimhen who's left.
I think of the poster players for the tournament, when you look at Mo Salah, you look at Sadio Mane, you look at those sort
Basuma.
of players. The only player left is Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, it's only Victor
Don't forget
Osimhen.
Onana.
And he still has a long way to go in this tournament, all the way to a third place playoff match.
Yes, that's where he's destined to be. Something interesting I was going to say when we were speaking about the faith that we had in Bafana.
Yeah.
I feel that even our football league did not have faith in Bafana.
True.
And the reason I'm saying that is, along with
Makopa
Safa,
on the ball as he presses forward. He looks to go wide to the byline, plays in
Corner,
the cross and wins
never
the
a bad
corner for
idea.
Bafana as they push for a winner.
the point I was trying to make is the league resumes on Tuesday. Bafana wins, they're only going to be back in South Africa on Tuesday. When does the bus trophy tour happen? When do we go to the airport?
They were not
Sundowns is
anticipating
playing Pirates
that.
on Saturday.
Yes.
Half the Bafana squad
Yeah.
comes from Sundowns.
So you are saying those dates were set in
In the
Well,
hopes of us not being
expectation.
successful.
they didn't think Bafana will get this far.
Yes, of course.
Do you think Safa should be rescheduling those matches? As another opportunity comes in, the goalkeeper manages to deal with.
Yeah, I think
But this
PSL
is where
should,
Nigeria seems to
reschedule
be
those
quite
matches.
dangerous on the counter.
on the counter. But again,
with the fresh legs of the two substitutions
like what
and the nutmeg and the striker goal.
Not
But you are not beating Ronwen
What
Williams like
another
that
save.
today, Victor Osimhen.
and he
And a
makes
beautiful piece of skill takes him forward as he looks to break the lines. Makopa picks up possession, and there's a foul,
looks like it's a foul for South Africa.
a yellow card for Nigeria.
Then would you say now
in
it's time
extra
maybe to
time?
get Tau out and put a police in? Because he's another
And he
attacking-
hasn't gotten his
attacking player.
chance.
I think you can give. I think maybe what Hugo Bruch is trying to do is run down the clock, maybe put in a police in the second half and not give him the first. So in case something happens, now you still have the leadership of Percy Tau that is able to marshal other players in attack. So perhaps he's just waiting for that.
So a very good yellow card for his team as he is replaced now, and it is Kelechi Iheanacho from Leicester City who comes on, and joined by teammate Aribo for Nigeria as the second double substitution comes into play for Nigeria with under 5 minutes to play in the first half of extra time in this AFCON 2023 semi-final between Bafana and Nigeria.
And I mean, you can also then agree that when we get to this point into the match, then it is a question of fitness. And, you know, like you were mentioning when I learned that, you know, Hugo Bruce, because of also of his experience of having played AFCON in the past and also winning it, he knows when to substitute and when to also save some fresh legs.
And I think we alluded to this earlier on that Bafana played their last fixture on Sunday
Yep.
and played an extra 30 minutes in that fixture, whereas Nigeria are likely to be with Victor Osimhen now attacking Mvala, who's doing a really good job as Ronwen Williams comes out
Whoa.
and is left in no man's land against Victor Osimhen.
Again,
Mvala
communication.
doing really well.
Communication was needed there.
And key defending from Mvala.
Yes, definitely.
But as I was alluding to earlier on, I was saying that Bafana played extra minutes in their quarterfinal fixture, and they played them on Sunday, which was more recently than Saturday's fixture for. I believe they played them on Saturday.
On Saturday,
And
yes.
Nigeria played their fixture on Friday.
so they had an extra day to rest.
They had an extra day to rest, and they did
not play-
And they didn't play the extra 30 minutes of extra time that Bafana had to play.
But big up to our fitness team, because it doesn't look like our boys are really
Precisely.
struggling in terms of fitness. You know?
Absolutely.
That's
And
what I'm saying,
Nigeria has
yeah.
been made to work in this fixture. They look like the ones who need the extra legs.
Definitely, I agree with you.
And Makopa still full of running after chasing down
What a player,
everything.
what a shift.
What a warrior.
What a warrior, you know. And I think a lot of people now are starting to understand why Hugo prefer him ahead of Lipasa, you know, because he's defensively, he will put in a shift. And again, he finds himself in those spaces where he can also create.
Certainly the sort of player a manager likes because of how much he provides for the rest of the team,
Agreed.
rather than as an individual performance.
And also in attack, he also gives you that other option. I mean, I saw him trying to create opportunities. He's able to drag out defenders, which he does very well for Orlando Pirates.
And then win corners through that as well.
And that's what you need.
In a game like this, any set piece, it's an opportunity, you know.
Nigeria putting a little bit of gloss on their football now, stringing a few beautiful passes together. For the first time we've seen in this fixture that Nigeria are playing their game. Makopa covering the overlapping run.
What a
And it's
player.
What a player.
What a player.
What
We
a
were
player.
just speaking about the shift that he's put in for the team.
And then he just comes and then he just shows exactly what he's made of.
And number 9 stopping the overlapping run.
And that's the kind of hard work that you need. A person who puts in a shift. That's the kind of player that you want.
And Mvala being given the responsibility of dealing with Victor Osimhen from this throw-in.
He mustn't foul him again.
No.
We hope.
We're in
We
hope
need
that
him.
that doesn't happen. And the long throw comes in, should be dealt with and
Save
gathered
it.
easily by Ronwen Williams, who continues to show how good a goalkeeper he is in this
He
tournament.
continues to show how valuable he is for Bafana. Definitely, win or lose, surely Ronwen Williams is
The
a
goalkeeper of the
huge
tournament.
candidate for goalkeeper of the tournament.
Definitely, it's not going to be that guy from Chippa United.
Yeah, Chipampingesi can give him that award.
Chippa can create an award for him.
Yeah, that's fine.
In relegation.
Well, that too. But it seems like the game is trying to open up now because Nigeria are
Victor
starting
Osimhen
to...
looking to run onto it again. But once again, the communication of Mvala and Grant Kekana coming together again. And Kekana shouting at his teammates for allowing the loose pass.
And then the captain showing leadership, saying, calm down, let's keep it going. We shouldn't be like this.
And there is the first period of extra time in this AFCON semi-final between Bafana and Nigeria comes to a close. Len Moleko.
Do you guys think that I came with my fingers crossed that can the game go to halftime? I mean extra time so that I get a little bit extra time
Yeah.
on the show. please?
Extra time.
So yeah, I'm here for the extra time. But yeah, nothing really to take home. We had our chances. Nigeria kind of wanted to show us what they made of. But it's still, the game is still in the balance. And I think one or two changes that Super Sub was talking about, like Apolis coming on, that's what Hugo should go for now. Wherever it is, we put in a shift.
A lot of gloss on the end of the performance from Nigeria as the medical team seems to be treating a lot of Nigerian players.
It goes back to saying that they never had the chance to go to 120. So them going that extra mile and going the 120, it's a bit of a shock to the system in a way. Bafana have done it. And
And I don't even think they anticipated getting this far.
yes,
Yeah.
because also mentally, Nigeria thought this game was going to be done in 90
Of course.
minutes in their favor.
And looking at the average position stats, you show a lot of versatility in the position that Bafana have shown. You can see it in the game. And Bafana also taking more shots on targets than Nigeria, with 14 shots to Nigeria's 10. So, fascinating stats reading, and it all seems to show that Nigeria have been looking to defend this game, a lot more structure in their average position, and Bafana with a lot of interchanging play, trying to be the dynamic, progressive team in this fixture and looking to create.
And I think more than anything, why is Super Sub laughing?
Because I'm not seeing Cabo Verde vibes there by the stands.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to keep quiet. I'm keeping quiet.
I'm
But
not
yeah,
sinking into this discussion.
I'm also not getting into that discussion.
We are preparing to kick
into the
off for
second
the
half.
second half of extra time at AFCON 2023 as Bafana seek a place in the AFCON final.
Okay. Well, Nigeria off the blocks.
Victor Osimhen with an opportunity, heads over the bar.
It's as
with
if he doesn't know
Mvala.
how to head, because many heading chances, he seems to get. He doesn't go over the ball so that he can control it. He goes under the ball.
But he's under a lot of pressure by Mvala there, and he has no chance. That not be understated, the job by Mvala in dealing with Victor Osimhen today.
But
I'll
Osimhen
tell you
has
what.
the height, he's got the jump. Surely he should have been more in control of that header than Mvala.
And I'll tell you what, if Chelsea does manage to pick up Victor Osimhen next season, a lot of Premier League clubs would be happy to have a player of Mvala's quality dealing with him next season.
Of course.
It would be nice if we can snatch it in the second half now. I
I
don't think
don't
I'm
want
ready for
penalties.
penalties.
I already got paid on my
I
Betway
actually
account.
don't have issues with penalties.
I'm not ready
but
for
I don't think
penalties.
also
Let's
they
win
want
it.
to apply so
Confidence.
much pressure
I don't think any of us
on
are ready for
Ronwen.
penalties.
Exactly.
We've gone through this movie before.
Yeah.
It was daunting. And if we go through penalties now, imagine what about Sunday? With tomorrow being a working day. Again, the game kicking off at 10 o'clock. Luckily, this one was a 7 o'clock kickoff.
So, Len Moleko, Ivory Coast, and DRC playing later tonight.
With that one, I think the home team will have the extra men to give them the oomph.
Until a red card, because they seem to like those.
But I still think Ivory Coast will pull through.
I'm fencing Ivory Coast to go through on that one.
What a story it would be for Bafana to
but-
beat the Ivory Coast in the final of
Of
AFCON
course,
2022.
and I mean,
At home,
that's what I'm saying, and
in front.
I think
But
that's why I'm
don't-
also
don't-
just
don't-
anti having an Ivory Coast final, because it is going
Thank
to
you,
be immense
Mdao.
pressure on
Also,
Bafana playing
don't
away,
don't
and
under-
you can imagine just the energy that is going to be coming. We spoke about this, Len, about just the energy that comes from your fans at home. So it is going to be a daunting task for them. So I'm really hoping that they don't come out.
Also, we don't want to underestimate the DRC.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because they are the only team that have literally drawn their way to the semi-final.
Yep.
And they're still alive in this competition.
Yeah. There we go.
So if they know how to draw and they can take Ivory Coast to penalties,
4 draws and a win.
Going over the corner.
like we see now, South Africa getting a corner.
More Kwena.
Oh, the height thing they are working against us. However, I like the fact that in defense, it doesn't work against us. In attack, yes, we haven't really done much with height, but in defense, it has not really been a threat either.
Bafana haven't felt like a physically dominated side in this fixture like we expected before the game, Super Sub.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's more so because we are able to retain possession. We are able to knock the ball around. So it does not matter how big you are. If you find a team that can hold the position and can knock the ball around, it's so difficult to exert your physicality to them.
Yeah, we hope now. Is it a case of, do you run down the clock or do you try make us go home early?
Look,
We'd love to go home early.
I think we need to keep position and knock on the door, and I think the opportunity will arise. I don't think Nigeria right now have got any idea on how to penetrate us. They look disjointed, and I think Nigeria are the ones that will want to wind down the clock and hope for the best in penalties.
But looking at them, they're sitting 10 men behind the ball. They're not necessarily threatening at anything. Is it them wanting to play for penalties then?
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do they know Victor
Victor Osimhen is withdrawn, and he has struggled today.
Yes. I think he has struggled in this tournament in its entirety. Which again goes to show that the European superstars are not necessarily showing up and lighting up this tournament.
Absolutely.
You've got more of your local heroes, your Ronwen Williams, your Teboho Mokwenas, being the ones that are raising their hands and being the ones that are being the stars of the tournament.
And that is something to be applauded, Moleko.
So effectively it means Victor is not amongst the penalty takers. In the event the game goes to penalties. But once again, we saw that he was not the one trusted with the penalty that
Yes.
was awarded to Nigeria.
Which was trusted towards their centre
The
back
captain, yeah.
captain.
Yep.
I forgot his name. I just
Ekong.
Ekong.
because he was actually the last player to score against South Africa at an AFCON.
Who's that, William?
Akong, yes.
No, Ekong.
Ekong,
Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
So he was trusted.
with the penalty.
And
With the penalty.
converted.
That's the captain, right?
But
Yeah,
it was
I
close.
think
He
it's
is the
Alcom,
captain, yeah.
It was that ball could have gone anywhere.
Oh yeah, he scored in the AFCON in
yes,
the previous
AFCON,
one. Yeah.
2019, when they knocked us out.
Looking at this fixture, Bafana have another game against Nigeria on the 3rd of June in a World Cup qualifier.
Qualifiers, yes.
Yeah, so there's 2 games. One is next year, the return leg. The one is this
Just
year.
now, yeah.
So, but this one is the one that matters the most. We'll take them one game at a time.
Yep.
The here and now is what matters.
And I think also, Muleko, this is also going to somehow inspire, players in the DStv Premiership who have not been selected in this case to also then raise their hands or also just show that they can potentially be part of, the qualifiers and etc.
No, definitely that's what the other players would want to do.
Of course.
And he is onside. And here is an opportunity for the... Well defended. Tebogo Mokwena with the last-ditch challenge. And the referee is not buying it.
And as
the
you can
referee
see-
is not buying it. Oh, there is
Oh.
contact, and it's outside of the
Outside
box.
the box.
Outside
So
the box.
there's no
Yeah,
VAR.
look at it.
Unless it's a red card.
A red we can get,
VAR is checking, but
but
if
that
it's...
should not be a penalty.
No, it's the tackle was outside of the goal, outside of the box
Yes.
very clearly.
So more than anything, it'll be a free kick.
But they cannot give a free kick.
Yes.
Unless it's a red card offense. Only if it's a red card
But it was
offense.
not a red card offense.
No, he was not the last player. So I do not believe...
And as it stands, it looks like there's an anticipation that
Could be a red card offense. Looking at the fact that he was one-on-one with the keeper.
I don't believe so. I think
because
there
were
was
two-
another
there were-
player
there were two
further
players-
back.
There were 2 players just right behind
So I
him.
don't think it would be a red card offense. It
If
looks
VAR
like it was outside of those. So I don't believe anything will happen here.
If VAR has been as on point as it has been the whole tournament, I don't see this being given as a penalty or a red card for that matter.
They're likely to stand with the referee's original decision. Although I think that Nigeria can feel hard done by because that is a free kick. That was not given by the referee.
But unfortunately, with regard to the rules of VAR,
Yeah,
that
they
cannot
cannot
be given.
rule that.
Yes.
But Nigeria can feel hard done by if they do not receive a free kick here, I believe.
Was there a level of being too relaxed from Bafana in terms of the approach to the second half more than anything?
This is the sort of thing that can happen to you when you're dominant, is that he's going to go and review it. This might be a red card offense. It's certainly not a penalty.
It's not a penalty. A red card offense, yes.
And a free kick perhaps.
And then what you just do now is like
It's clearly outside the box.
It's gonna be a red card offense.
it's not a red card.
But he's going to look at it as a red card. But why are they showing this? Play it back. Does he get any of the ball? He gets none of the ball. He doesn't get any of the ball. He gets the player.
That's outside the box. It can never be a penalty.
I don't believe it'll be a penalty.
But again,
But why is this the angle being shown?
because he has to show
Because
the angle.
he has to
from-
show the other angle to see
This
who
one,
else. So he's not inside the box.
He's not inside the box.
Oh, it could be a red card.
A
It
red
could
card,
be a red card. It looks like it's going to be a red
Yes,
card.
or a foul.
A red.
It's a foul. It's a red card because he's the last man. So I believe this is going to be a red card and a free kick.
But it can never be a penalty.
I don't believe it will be a penalty. So it looks like VAR is going to give a red card. Bafana are going to finish this fixture a man short.
A penalty.
He's given a penalty. Grant Kekana,
But how,
a red
guys?
card.
Red
As
card
we said,
offense.
there's a red card for Kekana.
That, yes, we knew that was going to happen.
A free kick and a red card for the last man.
And we need him.
This is once again VAR doing the job correctly, but it's not a penalty.
But
It's a
that's-
free kick.
That's the end of
Hard luck, Grant
Kekana's-
Kekana.
Yeah, that's the end
You've
of his
taken one for the team, and this is what you love to see: is the players hugging. And well done, Grant Kekana. What a performance and what a tournament from Grant Kekana, as he will miss the final for a straight red card.
And look
in
where
this
he
game.
comes from.
Yeah. And that is unfortunate. He took one for the country.
I think it was more yes, the initial contact was bad.
I don't see
but
it.
the follow through just made it look bad.
And this will be sad for Grant Kekana, who deserves his place in the final
Of
if
course.
Bafana go through. But
There's gonna be discontent.
Again, I'm not thinking about Verde in the stands.
There's gonna be discontent from a lot of Nigerian fans on why that was not given as a penalty, even though you can see it was outside the box.
you cannot say that, Len Moleko. You cannot say that.
You can see the discontent from the stands.
But in the stands is a bit different. Applause for Grant Kekana as he leaves the pitch, as he is saved.
Fighting for the badge.
CBC for a
CBC coming in,
change.
yeah.
Ungena inkabi manje.
And there's two players standing over
It's
the free
also a
kick for
very
Nigeria.
that free kick. It's in a very dangerous
Very
place,
dangerous
you know.
position.
Lipasa.
Lepasa is removed.
I'm starting
A
to
fresh
think.
player
I'm
who
starting
comes
to
on
think
for
Tau
CBC.
has got Hugo Bruce nudes, eh? No, I'm telling you now.
Wait, guys, did you hear what Super
We're
Sub
going
just
to
said?
penalties.
Did you hear
I
what
think
Super Sub just
Makope is a
said?
more important player
No, Marco,
for
wait. Did you hear what Super Sub just said?
CBC.
No, he said that he believes that Percy Tau has Hugo Broch's nudes.
Because Lipasa is a penalty taker. He's sacrificing a penalty taker. Well, I suppose Tau is 1-2,
Kelechi
but I would
Iheanacho
have-
takes
I
a
would
free
have-
kick straight in the hands of Ronwin Williams, who is likely to take Bafana to penalties after the red card. A save
It was a well taken. It was a well taken free kick,
for
though.
Ronwin Williams. And Nigeria coach Jose frustrated with the quality of the free kick from Kelechi Iheanacho.
And I think the frustration is gonna continue going on. I actually just need to go take a water break. I'll be joining you guys just now. I'll be back. My nerves are shooting up.
As
The
there's
more
2
we-
minutes remaining,
the
two and a
more we
half
edge
minutes
closer to a
remaining
penalty shootout.
in extra time between Bafana and Nigeria, as Nigeria look to push on with the extra man on the pitch. Nigeria getting more control of the game, making passes between the back.
Of
And a
course.
lot more movement amongst the Nigeria players. They are showing spirit to end this game here and now.
And
whereas
Marco-
Bafana are perhaps more hopeful for the penalty shootout at this point.
Yes, and I mean Nigeria might have their energy a bit accelerated, considering that they know that we are at a disadvantage. You know, so it's only in their best favor right now to take whichever opportunity that they make and then translate it into a goal, because if we do go into penalties, crossing fingers obviously, but we just might come out victorious in this one.
Every tackle, every clearance is
Yep.
applauded by the crowd here at Coffee in Midrand. Thank you so much for all the boilers who have joined us here. And thank you so much to Coffee for welcoming us. Above all else, thank you so much to Betway, where you get way more for sponsoring this podcast.
Of course. But we should not also show that we are, you know,
As we see
getting- we need to
Mbala
be able to-
stooping to make that header away, he
Yeah.
has been excellent this tournament.
There's not much left, and I think with the sub that we are left with, I think a player like Pesitao needs to go off, and we need to bring a more defensive player like Munare.
And again defended, and again cleared, and again. And now Bafana with the final opportunity of the fixture. And that's a red card over there. And referee immediately gives the yellow card. And that is not what you like to see. William Trustikong is the player yellow carded, the captain of Nigeria, for stopping the final counter-attack and pulling him completely off the ball. A professional foul like you've
Aggression
never
coming from
seen
Mekong is
before.
crazy.
I know it's a professional foul, but is it one of those where in the referee's book, one of the rules that needs to be checked?
Which is?
No, I think that's
Physically
fair.
holding a player, withholding him from play.
A yellow card is fair. A yellow card is fair. It is within the rules of the game. And there's 2 minutes remaining of play
man down.
before we head over to penalties in this fixture. As the coaching staff prepare for penalties.
As you can see, our staff doing their homework on penalties, gathering all the information of the infield players.
The statisticians at work once again.
Right again.
As you alluded to earlier, Super Sub, Bafana
may I also,
have some experience in this that
of course.
Nigeria don't have in this tournament.
No,
Yes, but
definitely.
may I say something which is quite pleasant, gentlemen, that for the first time in a very long time, we do not have to pull out our calculators.
Percy Tau with a wonderful piece of play. And he there challenging once again. Mudau once again with a terrific challenge, I believe. Oh, it is Sitole rather. Yaya Sitole has had a terrific performance. We say it again and again and again. And there is approximately 35 seconds left as Nigeria are making substitutions with penalties in mind. Number 22, Omeruo, is coming onto the pitch and he replaces Nigeria's number 12 as he prepares for the penalty shootout. Bright Osayi Samuel, the player replaced by Omeruo, who is clearly being brought on for the penalty shootout. And Nwabali is now going to play the long ball upfield for the final opportunity of the game. Time is
over,
up and
and
we
it
go
goes
to
to the
penalties.
penalties.
And Bafana have an opportunity, a date with destiny and a final in the African Cup of Nations this year. Nigeria had it all in their hands. Ronwen Williams took his hands and was able to prevent Nigeria from going 2 goals to the good. And then we saw Bafana equalize from the penalty spot in the most dramatic fashion. Extra time ensued. Some more drama ensued. We saw a red card for Grant Kekana. VAR at it once again. What a game. We can barely take our breath back, Super Sub.
I agree with you, Marco. It's been a stellar of a game. It had everything that we anticipated. It is a proper African rivalry. And right now, I mean, obviously, we're going to a penalty shootout. You know, I wouldn't be hard done if we Bafana. I think we brought the A game. I mean, a lot of people had written Bafana off. Statistically, we stood no chance. You know, if you look on a man-to-man, pound-to-pound, Nigeria is far superior in terms of their playing personnel. But we showed them that we are Bafana and we can take it all the way. And you know, going to penalties, obviously we are experienced in this regard in terms of what we've been through in the past games, and I think this one is in the bag. I'm confident.
Len Moleko, what have Bafana lacked in recent history that this side is showing? Is it the team spirit or is it the quality of Bafana?
I think it's the team spirit. It's
Above
playing,
all else.
it's playing as a team, understanding that they're warriors. And I was just thinking about something now. That do you think that Bafana went to go visit the Springboks to make sure that in the quarterfinals and the semifinals they are going to give us heart palpitations? Because this is almost the same case as the game against France, the game against England, and subsequently the game against New Zealand. And it seems like that warrior mentality has almost robbed off Bafana, and they believe until it's over, we are not going to give up.
No, I agree with you fully, Len, and it's one of those. And I think in a South African way, no.
Yeah, we mean it the other day. We can do it again. We can do it again.
It's super time.
It feels like Bafana's time to be in the final of AFCON 2023. It feels like Bafana's tournament. And Ronwen Williams, if there's anybody you want involved in your penalty shootout, it is Ronwen Williams. And what a performance once again today.
Definitely. I mean, we can talk about the save that he made during the game. he is definitely a player that has also carried us to get where we are right now, and we are expecting him to continue where he left off, you know. And this is one of those where we expect him to step up, and we've seen what he can do.
Tepi, darling, how's your heart feeling?
To be honest with you, for the first time in a very long time, I'm not worried at all. I am more glass full as opposed to glass half empty. I have absolute confidence in Ronwin, and I think because of the driving power behind Ronwin and why he does what he does, you know, so I have more faith than ever.
The toss is won by Ronwin Williams, he chooses to take the penalties on the right-hand side of the pitch, and then I believe Nigeria will start the penalty shootout. Ronwin Williams had no reason to choose a side of the pitch. There aren't enough fans in the stadium
Beautiful
to choose a
from
side
the
of the pitch. So Ronwin Williams once again wanting the opposition to take the first penalty, showing faith in his own abilities
And pure
to
confidence.
get into the mental side of the
Precisely.
game and stop the first penalty.
And I think as it stands, the nerves are more with Nigeria than they are with South Africa, because they know what Ronwin has done. And this is where, as a penalty taker, you're almost going to second doubt yourself, because you know where your strength is when you kick a penalty. However, you're going up against somebody who studied you, and not only studied how you kick, but your demeanor as you approach the ball.
Len Moleko, get us a list of who is taking the penalties. Do we have a list as yet?
There is no list necessarily that they put out. I think the guys are just going to come up
And just
as
raise
they
their
go,
hands.
yes.
So it's absolutely fascinating to see
One love,
hugs
the
all around,
the
one love.
sportsmanship.
A discussion from the referee ensuring that the goalkeepers understand the rules. Of course, no point in moving forward from the penalty spot, because if you do take that step forward and you make the save, they
Yes, of
will
course.
retake the penalty. If they score and you don't make the save, you can retake the penalty. So that we see the first penalty being taken by Nigeria in this AFCON 2023 semi-final. And the singing has begun
Of
here
course it
at
has.
Coffee.
And I'm sure that, you know, the
We
type of
see
energy
Happy
we are putting
as he
out. Let's
steps
go.
up. The first penalty. He goes straight down the line and scores the opening penalty as Ronwin Williams dives down the way as Murphy.
And I think
Murphy scores the first penalty.
and I think I'm not going to entertain the approach that Nigeria is going to have, because I'm thinking, and if you saw the first penalty,
Yeah.
they're going to try go more central, because that's more the safer route from what you normally would go with, because the keeper normally picks a side and that's what they go with.
But Ronwin Williams, we've seen
We are yet
him
to see.
wait
He's actually
before
quite
diving
dynamic,
before.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
this time it has worked. Tebogo Mokoena, a player who has scored a penalty in this game already, steps up for the first penalty for Bafana. Hey! As the pictures are interrupted momentarily in Ivory Coast, as we await for our pictures to return, we cannot see what is happening. Len Moleko.
If a tree falls in the forest and nobody was there to see it fall, did it really happen? That's a case that we're dealing with right now.
So I can confirm for you that we have no idea what's going on. As we see the famous, we apologize for the break in transmission. Our technicians are working to resolve the issue. As if our hearts couldn't take it anymore.
Well, what's currently
Yes.
happening is the penalty was kicked. We don't know what happened. It's just a case of waiting for the picture to come back.
As it comes back,
And
he's
we are
looking
about
to
to
study the
find out
penalties. We're about to find out if
what our
Tebogo
fate was.
Mokoena scored his goal. Kenneth Omeruo, the player who was brought on specifically to take a penalty, steps up, takes his penalty, and sends Ronwin Williams the wrong way. And Nigeria have scored 2 penalties.
And we are yet to find
We are
out
yet
what
to
the
find
fate South
out if
Africa's
Tebogo
is.
Mokwena's penalty was converted.
But word happening around is that it might have been a missed penalty.
It seems like
A missed penalty.
it's a missed penalty.
We did see on the screen there.
Didn't
So
manage to see it.
Nigeria 2-0 up in the penalty shootout, if the reports are correct that there was a missed penalty by Tebogo Mokoena. And it's looking, and that is
It is
true.
true.
It is a missed penalty. And
It's a-
Bafana are looking elimination dead in the face.
It's usually the curse of a penalty taker who scores a penalty during the game. And when it comes to the penalty shootouts,
The jitters.
things don't necessarily go his
course,
way.
yeah.
But it's not all doom and gloom. There's still more penalties to be taken.
As we see him step up to take the penalty. And it is a beautifully converted penalty, which gives Bafana some hope and Ronwin Williams something to do in goal.
But
Terrific penalty kick.
we are still on tenterhooks.
And if Ronwin Williams sees how the first two penalties went, he'll be wise to wait before moving, because two easy penalties to save if you do not move first.
Big up Sumanyambela there for scoring that penalty.
As Ronwin Williams
Come
has
on,
an
Ronwin.
opportunity to even the playing field for
Fourth.
Bafana.
And
Ola
he will.
Aina to take up. Let's see. Miss. Yes! As he misses a penalty, Bafana have an opportunity
still in it.
to level things up as he skies it. And the duty will fall on a Bafana player to equalize in this amazing AFCON that keeps giving.
I keep saying, I think Bafana had a camp session with the Springboks and said to them, this is how you give a whole country heart palpitations, because what is happening right now,
Makopa
is
gets
out
the
of this world.
opportunity to level things up for Bafana. And Len Moleko, responsibility for commentary is going to lie on you and me, because Super Sub and Tepi Worldwide are stunned to silence.
They are gone.
They don't know what to say. They are.
even words escape them.
I have no words.
I mean,
Makopa has been terrific this game. He has been absolutely stellar as he steps up to take the penalty, and his penalty is saved. And that is
was a-
looking more and more like that will be Lat.
that was a
And
weak
it was
penalty.
a poor penalty from Makopa after a terrific performance.
It's an advantage that the goalkeeper plays in the DSTV Premiership, and that he might also have some type of knowledge of our players.
Perhaps.
Yes,
And
no?
it's not a
No?
terrific penalty though,
Yeah.
Tepi.
It looks like it had no power.
It had no power. It wasn't in one of the corners.
Yeah.
The run-up was poor, and all the goalkeeper needed to do was wait to move the right way.
Yeah.
And
he
how
saves
bad must Mokoena be feeling now, Tebza? If Nigeria score this one, it's over.
If Nigeria score this one, it's not necessarily over. There will be 3-1, and then Bafana will have to convert all of their penalties. So this is not the last penalty of the game, but hopes being. And he has another player who converted a penalty during
And
The
the
captain,
goals.
yep.
play.
And as it were, as the script of football are written,
He
he's
steps
like
up to take it, and he scores
he
a
scores
terrific
it.
penalty.
And it's a clean,
And now
taken penalty.
Bafana have to score their remaining two penalties
And
to
hope
have
that
any chance, and hope that Nigeria miss the
their next
final
one.
to force sudden death.
Sudden death. What a penalty.
And it is not looking good for Bafana at the moment, who, from a penalty taker standpoint in the last penalty shootout, was not terrific. But Ronwin Williams was able to keep enough out.
And actually
this time, it is looking more difficult.
one of the bowlers was asking me now, when we are going to penalties, who is going to kick for us? Because on the balance of play, we don't have precision in terms of, we know these are our go-to guys.
Mvala is one of the
them.
go-to penalty takers.
But I feel like he's one of those people that he should have
Our go-to people.
He should have started. He should have been.
He certainly looks nervous as he steps up to keep Bafana in this AFCON. He takes a terrific penalty, and Bafana still live in hope. Ronwin Williams has an opportunity.
A save and a goal.
And we can still be in this as this AFCON continues to deliver. But now the hopes of a nation
Lie
rest
again.
on this penalty kick.
They lie on Ronwin Williams. How heavy? Not even heavy. How do you think his shoulders must be feeling like right now, having carried the country so much?
And Kelechi Iheanacho, a player with a lot of experience who now currently plies his trade in the English Championship with Leicester, formerly of Manchester City, steps up to take a penalty. And it is a
And it
very
is
good
over.
penalty, and Nigeria are through
To the final.
final of AFCON 2023. And I tell
But
you
what a
what,
stellar performance from Bafana.
we cannot discredit Bafana in this tournament, and Nigeria must be favorites to go all the way. But the disappointment in the room is there.
But
and
Bafana,
we cannot.
the beauty about it is Bafana fought until the end. That you cannot
Definitely
take
they
away
fought
from them.
tooth and nail to get this far. You know, I mean, having to wait for 24 years to get to the semi-finals, I think. Yes, I'm disappointed because you can't take away emotions of losing in the semi-finals. But I am proud of the boys, and I'm one of those people that, if time permits, I'll be the one at the OR Tambo to welcome the boys because I think they represented us
They
very
had done
well.
Stella, yeah.
They deserve a hero's welcome when they land at OR International.
I agree.
That's definitely the truth.
And even though they fought against Morocco, even though they fought against Cape Verde, they have now lost to the Super Eagles of Nigeria in a game that they dominated. So, our heartfelt congratulations to Bafana for their achievements at AFCON 2023.
It's
The
a bittersweet,
tournament
isn't it?
continues to provide excellent football.
Yep.
The tournament continues to provide excellent organization, excellent officiating, and more. What a tournament has been for both Bafana and all of Africa.
No, definitely it was
Yeah,
a good
what a
tournament.
stellar
And
tournament.
obviously, this is not the final dance. We still have an opportunity to play
Third
for
place.
third and fourth place.
Of course.
You know, and I'm hoping we can at least get that bronze medal and bring something home. You know, the players have shown character in this tournament throughout, and I think Hugo Bruce is the right man at the helm, and I foresee good things coming out of this squad.
Bitterly disappointed as Ivory Coast and the DRC has kicked off. Ballers, thank you so much for joining us once again for another watch along for Bafana against Nigeria. We understand you must be bitterly disappointed, many of you at least. I'd like to issue out a big thank you to all of you for your continued support on this channel, and we love you and thank you for joining us every week. Thank you to you, Super Sub. Thank you, Tepi Darling. Thank you, Len Moleko. Thank you, MacG back there for joining us today. Thank you to the ballers who have joined us here at Coffee Live. And thank you most of all to Betway, where you get way more.
And
stay onside, don't be offside. Stay onside with us and Betway.
Danko
Danko.
Danko.
means thank you.